know, they think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening out there. Let's get right on the ones and the twos. That's what I like to do. And if you're in the building, salute. So all the 300s and all of my troops. But man, we got another value pack nutritional type deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not our job. It is not our mission to keep you here for long. But we will provide you, force feed you with the truth and perception that you can't get nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Often imitated, but never duplicated. Most people are born originals and they die copies. You copy? So you're going to get some originality. You're going to get some, you know what I'm saying, a fresh cook. You're going to get a different perspective. Silence is consent. Y'all know that. Meaning all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing. And we try not to keep it toxic, but we will give you the truth. Yeah, I knew it. You know what I'm saying? I was messing with the sound instead of the music. But I appreciate you, Cookie Monster. What about that mic check, 1 2 1 2? What about that? Huh? What about that? Can you tell me how the microphone checker is? Can you do that for the kid? So we can get down to bed? I'm a little hyper, man, because boxing is going in one direction. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding crystal clear. That's what I like to hear. Pow. Okay, Cookie Monster. Kind of feisty there. I got you, though. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. But with no further ado, man, I got my co-host, AC in the building. How you feeling, AC?
Man, I'm feeling, honestly, I'm feeling great today, man. I'm just making so much progress, bro. I'm finally on to the other steps and stuff like that. So, again, it's one of those situations to whereas I look at my own personal space, and if this is what I really want, then I match it to, some of the fighters I may, be interested in and stuff like that, and say, okay, I know what I want. And even though I may take a step back, I know the decision I made in taking that step back is going to put me 10 steps forward. Are you doing the same thing to get my support? Because I know how I'm moving in real life. And I'm just asking you, within your space, your professional space, are you moving the same way as me? And that's where I'm at with this. That's why I'm really gonna like this cook.
Yeah, man, we gotta stay off the beaten path, man. We gotta salute, the people that are doing what they need to do, and you're doing what you need to do. We're gonna talk about that offline. I've been giving you a little time to breathe. I know you've been at it like a craftmatic and a crack addict, but you know what I'm saying, we'll touch bases offline. But I know you doing your thing, but sometimes I know how I can be in the questions I ask. I don't be wanting to add no undue pressure, but pressure bust pipes or create diamonds. But I was just giving you space and time to do your thing, and I knew when you came up with whatever, or if you had some questions, you was gonna hit me up. So I know you're doing your thing, man. Johnny Crush Time says, shut the fuck up. How about you come over here and make me? Make me, man. Make me shut the fuck up, Johnny. If you want to be crunch time, you about to turn into lunchtime.
Yeah.
Look, the trolls are in the building, man. Salute to the trolls, man. Y'all are making the viewership excellent, man. We appreciate you, man. We just gonna just smut you out, man. We gonna put you over in the corner, man, and give you nothing but franks and footlongs and quarter pounders, you know what I'm saying? And until you leave. You know what I'm saying? No buns. So just sit tight, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get everything you need. Trust me. But with no further ado, man, let's get into the housekeeping, man. Because we got some things we gotta get to. And this is a value-packed episode. So the housekeeping. Number one, Fernando Vargas might have something special. And I say that because, I was doing my evaluation just like I do all boxers when I evaluate what's going on and what they got going on, right? And Sean Zattel, I'm gonna call him the Z-Man. The Z-Man did a video with Fernando Vargas, and I got respect for Fernando Vargas. He was one of the ones that ran towards all of the smoke in his heyday. He happened to have 3 offspring or boys, you know what I'm saying, specific to the boys. I don't know what he has outside of that, but he had the boys and they all boxing. And it's a thin line because I don't want this to sound like, because this can happen. This happened with twins. This happened with the Charlo twins. I imagine it's going to happen with the Grandy twins. It might happen with the Mason brothers. I heard a little bit of it, and you kind of got to touch it. You got to touch and go, because Abdul Raham and then Ibrahim, it was almost like they was giving Ibrahim a little bit more praise than Abdul Raham, and you kind of got to be careful with that. But I like the fact that Sean Zattel pretty much grabbed the bull by the horns, and we know the focus was really with Vargas, Emiliano, El General, the one that everybody's been seeing, and the one that everybody say had the most potential. Now Armando did, smack Dean the Great, who's the guy that's running around with AB, got AB back on his feet. He's doing a lot of things. Very commendable guy. But I think that when it comes to the boxing world, because of the exposure, and the push and the magnitude of the fights, naturally Emiliano is the cream that's rising to the top. Now, I'm not saying that because they got their father's genes in them. I'm not saying they won't be disciplined and all that, but like, I've heard interviews with Emiliano where he basically said that he studied Floyd. He's like, man, I used to watch Floyd, and Floyd would go to the club. He wouldn't drink. He'd be chilling or whatever. Then he'll run home. He'll exercise. He's like, that's what I took away. He's like, what I learned from Floyd was that I'm always prepared. Like, I'm always going to be in shape. Then he got his branding. And for him to be so young, he's on top of that branding. He got that GQ smooth look, and then like everything is branding, you know, got the teeth, got the look, got the image, you know what I'm saying? But then he go in there and he handled business. And what stuck out to me was the way Vargas was approaching. I said, man, Vargas might really be a triple threat, because in the conversation of boxing fathers, yes, I've been this year, my award is going to go to Valiant Mason, because of what he's able to do. And I was saying the other day that the only person that really would have to deal with that is probably somebody like Mr. Gary Russell Jr., who inherited the patriarch because his father passed, RIP to Mr. Russell, Big Russell, Papa Russell. You know what I'm saying? I always got love for him, man. Raised a fleet of fighters. You know what I'm saying? He got Mr. Gary, he got Gary Antonio, and he got Gary Antoine. And then he had other brothers before that was actually boxing and were nice. So he raised a whole fleet. But the only one I actually seen to where they might have to come out and coach one of the brothers, coach another brother, and then come out and fight. I've seen Mr. Gary do that. Well, Fernando's not in that position. You know, his time came and went. He talked about his experience and how he overcame, you know, alcoholism, and I salute him for that. That is an obstacle, something that my grandfather died from, cirrhosis. So it's heavy on the heart when you hear about people in there drinking. But I applaud him because he was able to overcome that obstacle in his life. But Emiliano emerged, and he's looking like a front runner. And with this latest move, that's what I took away from it. I was like, man, if y'all want to ask who actually stole the show on that card, I would kind of say secretly, like all things, especially since this is a technical boxing channel and like we're looking at, okay, cool, who did what and how and whatever. I would say secretly Emiliano stole that card. Why? Because he came out in southpaw and he dominated his opponent from start to finish. Was it an early stoppage? Yeah, wouldn't argue with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna bend your fingers back or smack you in the forehead for saying, oh man, you know, yeah, it was an early stoppage. However, Fernando's job was to look at it as a trainer, and this is where it gets hairy, because a lot of these guys say, oh yeah, man, we don't watch film, we don't blah blah blah. But like Fernando, being an ex-boxer, you know, being under the tutelage of the Garcias, along with Mikey and Robert, he was able to look at Bryce Mills' resume and see that the man only fought one southpaw in his career. And he said, yeah, earlier on, he was like, his son came to him, was like, hey, man, he want to try southpaw. He said he didn't shun him and say, no, you're not a southpaw, because I hear that. I even heard coaches that I love, admire, and respect. He's like, if they find a southpaw, they'll convert him over to an orthodox just because they were naturally a southpaw. And I'm like, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is the person I'm talking about is a highly respected coach. Like one of my top guys, like to where if I had somebody right now, I'll say, hey man, go get with these two guys. My top guys, like top guys. They said they would convert southpaws over to orthodox. And I'm like, well, he took a different approach with his son. He said, listen, man, if you want to be southpaw, what I'm going to do is we're going to train you in that. And so what he did with Emiliano was he said the whole camp, the whole 8-week camp, he said they trained from start to finish with him being a southpaw. Salute to Honeybee. Appreciate you. He said from start to finish, they trained as southpaw. And he said, do I allow him to do certain things? He's like, yeah. He was like, I allow him to do this. I allow him to do the Philly shell a little bit. He said, but I told him right off the rip when I see him doing it, there's only one Floyd Mayweather. And I'll add a caveat to that. There's really only one James Toney. But as a little man, Floyd took that Philly shell, you know, that James Toney did, and he took it, he owned it, and he developed it just the same way you seen Bam take on the style of Lomachenko and then evolve it and then like make it to where it's mean and pristine. Same thing. Jeez Louise. That's what happened. But I love the fact that he allowed his son to basically do what he needed to do, caution him, warn him, you know what I'm saying, gave him the boundaries of it, but still catered to his eagerness to be able to learn and to evolve. And with him coming out there, he's like, yeah, we knew he never studied or prepared for that. And it worked. You know, granted, short stoppage and all, but it was pretty much, it was the beginning of the end at that point. Well, more than the beginning of the end, but it was going to end brutally, even more brutally. So maybe the ref, just like in the main event with Bell, maybe the ref saved some more damage. That was the point I said, man, maybe he, because in the main event, Bell's nose was broken. You know what I'm saying? He could have had a cracked rib. Like, he could have really got more damage. But, you know, granted, early stoppages and all. But I applaud Fernando. And I say that, yeah, he might have something special. I have been looking at it. And for some reason, man, I don't know why. Well, I know why. Because I really want, ultimately, I want Abdullah to go ahead and move to 40 now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he need to waste no more time. He don't need to wait around, play the politic game, or let these people play games with him. Go ahead and let him rehydrate and, you know, come in a little bit more comfortable. Don't have to, like, you know, reduce himself down as much. But for some reason, I believe Emiliano and Abdullah Mason are on a crash collision. We could very much, if they keep going on the path, you know, I think they're being a little bit more protective of Emiliano, and I don't know if that's like business purposes or what. I don't know what that is, but I don't disagree, because it's like, I don't want to see Abdullah Mason. Yeah, he's a champion. Yes, I want to see him in the big fights. I want to see him match tough. Like, I don't want no drop off in the competition. I don't want him taking a step back. But at the same time, it seems like there's more care or more caressing of Emiliano moving forward, because they want a Kambosos. It's like, would anybody want to see Kambosos and Abdullah right now? They'll probably say, hell nah, man, Abdullah need to blah, blah, blah. But with Emiliano saying that it's a former champ and all this and all that, like, but with Cordina, Cordina and Abdullah, we are accepting of that. So it's like, but I tend to think that, because I don't really see Emiliano going to 147 right now. And when I put Emiliano up to the litmus test, when I said, okay, well, if he's ready, give him a Subriel Matias. That'd be good for Subriel Matias too. But give him a Subriel, especially coming off of a knockout. But like, give him a Subriel Matias. If you want a former champ, give him a Subriel Matias and tell him. If you saying no, we'll give him a Sandor Martin. If you say no, we'll give him, I would have said Alberto Puello, but Alberto Puello is getting ready to go ahead and get Dalton Smith. I would say Tito Mercado, but then you'll be trying to say, oh, you trying to get him beat. It's just like, well, okay, well, if somebody said with Tito Mercado with Abdullah Mason, then that argument can be made too. Well, you trying to get Abdullah beat. It's like, we're not trying to get him beat, but if you are one of them ones, and right now, Abdullah Mason is in the driver's seat because he's a champion at 35, but I think he's going to 40. And as soon as he get there, I think that they are on a crash collision. This very much might be, mark my word, this might be the Floyd versus Pacquiao, depending on how they paths move and how they move them and how they manage them, and you know what I'm saying, what we see. And I like them both. I like them both. Salute the We Fight All Night. Salute. I like them both, but I can foresee that. You know what I'm saying? I think that they on a crash collision, man. Like with the path that they on, I think it's realistic because of their age and how they were groomed and coming up on Top Rank. It's, you know, it's black versus, you know, Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Even though Emiliano don't really fight Mexican style, he's not a rock'em sock'em. He got sophistication. He's a switch hitter. There are nuances to his game, and he's slowly developing. I want to see him develop. Not saying that I want them to handle him with kid gloves, but I do want them to have a long career. And with Fernando at the helm and Valiant at the helm, I could see them as a crash collision. So I think Fernando might have something special in Emiliano, man. Not to shade the other brothers because they decent and they're gonna come around. And I think that the evolution of Emiliano and the spotlight he gives and the professionalism he gives, I think it's gonna rub off on his brothers. And Fernando said as much in the interview. And I gave Sean to tell because I always say this: my criticisms will always be just as loud as my praises. So if I have a praise, it's always gonna be just as loud as my criticism. So I had to give the Z-Man Sean to tell a salute for that because that was a wonderful interview. It was organic, nothing was forced. Fernando, even when he was talking about the Delgado or whatever, whoever going to fight for that belt at 140, since people are deeming that WBO strap is about to evaporate out of Shakur's hands. So he was already trying to move forward, and Fernando was like, listen, man, I'm never going to talk about what we got going on in negotiations. I'm never going to talk about a potential fight unless we have a fight. Basically meaning that once it's booked, I'll talk about it. And I love that approach. It's going to save Emiliano from doing all of the Twitter stuff and all of the back and forths and all of the wars and speculation. Yeah, he could jaw jack, because one time it was like the Vargas Bros versus DB3. And then looking at it, it's like it's two very known stars. You got Keyshawn and you got Emiliano, but were they ready to fight each other? No. As far as the brothers, they got a set of skills. You know what I'm saying? We be thinking that Keon probably got a lot of set of skills with his frame and all that, but is he fighting in his right weight class? Is he being manicured? Like, what path is he on? We really don't know. You know what I'm saying? We know that the Vargas with Fernando at the helm, they're going to respect him. People can't just tell them anything in the boardroom. Why? Because he's been there, done that. And he got the Garcias. He got Robert Garcia, Mikey Garcia. He got all of them guys, like, it's almost like a brother. But it was a lot of good value in that interview, man. So if you get it, check it out. I think that was one of Sean Zatel's better interviews. It was more organic. It wasn't contrived. I like the interviews where he don't have a vested interest when he's sitting down talking to these guys. And that was one of them, to where it was like, okay, it was nobody on the other side to where he really loved or whatever. Like, if it was him talking about Shakur, then the interview might have been different, because they all have a propensity to bend the ring to these niggas. And I don't understand it, but I like it. Much like I like the interviews where Andre Ward don't have a vested interest, and he can sit with Roy Jones to talk about some of the older fighters or guys where Andre Ward don't have a vested interest, like Bud or Keyshawn or Shakur or somebody like that. Those interviews be the best. So if you get a chance, Fernando Vargas sits down with Sean Zatel. I think it's about 35-40 minutes. A great interview, man. It got sentimental value. It got everything you need, man. I thought that was a classic. You know what I'm saying? So check that out. That's housekeeping number 1. Housekeeping number 2. Dev shifts focus from core to key. What do you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? We were waiting to see what was going to happen with, with the news about Shakur signing over there to Zuffa and all of that. We was waiting to see what would actually happen, and we still have our qualms about it, because Shakur keeps saying, I want these big fights. And I'm like, well, we got to qualify what big fights are. Big fights can't be big fights just because you say it's a big fight or you say it's not a big fight. It comes down to consumer demand. What are most of the consumers demanding? Because I always said when it came down to Shakur here recently, I can name more people that he won't fight than in which he will. And that's a problem. Wouldn't you say? I mean, I would say, hey, that's a problem. I can name more people that you won't fight, that you discount, dismiss, or whatever, but there's a real market. I know we did a poll. I think we had like 100. I think we might have had like 100 votes or something like that. It was overwhelming that people wanted to see him fight Oshaki. Before the Devin Haney and all that other stuff came up, you know what I'm saying, which naturally for years people been wanting to see him and Devin. But with him being over there with Zuffa, and then, the parameters of Zuffa and people having belts and all that, and then Shakur actually campaigning for this man to actually drop his strap, I'm like, man, how whack is that? Let me not get into the meat and potatoes, but I am touching on it. I'm infringing on it. But Devin Haney shifts focus to Keyshawn. Devin Haney may have identified his next opponent after Team Haney appeared to reach an impasse with Shakur. So this was today. So pretty much they news is coming out that he reached an impasse with Shakur. Just hours after Bill Haney rejected Shakur's demand that Devin vacate his WBO welterweight title before agreeing to a 144-pound fight, Haney initiated talk of a different matchup by responding to Keyshawn Davis' latest Instagram post. Keyshawn asked his followers, who's going to be next to step in the ring with the businessman, prompting Haney to reply, you know who. Haney responds just hours after Bill's message to Shakur. Earlier Tuesday, Bill Haney posted on X that Team Haney had no intention of meeting Shakur's condition to vacate the WBO belt before negotiating a catchweight fight. Devin Haney doesn't need to drop anything first. Sign the 144-pound bout agreement or DHP moves on. That's what Bill was saying on X. That message came after weeks of public back and forth between two camps. Shakur has repeatedly insisted Haney give up the WBO welterweight title before he'll agree to meet at 144 pounds, arguing the move would clear the way for Keyshawn Davis to fight for the vacant belt. Instead of signaling any willingness to do that, Team Haney appears to be looking in another direction. The exchange wasn't out of the blue. Bill Haney has been identifying Keyshawn as a future opponent for Devin since 2025. A fight between Haney and Keyshawn would also resolve the WBO mandatory situation without requiring Haney to surrender his title. The exchange has yet to develop in the form of negotiations, which I don't know how. I really don't know how. But Tuesday's social media activity suggests Team Haney is no longer waiting on Shakur and has begun turning its attention towards Keyshawn Davis. Now, this is one of the things, right, when it comes down to me and Devin, man. I have respect for Devin in certain aspects. Like when it comes to him and Tank, I have no respect. You know, and I have my reasons. But when it comes to things that he done, like the win against Brian Norman and all that, I have respect for him for what he was able to do, right? Like, just knowing that he told, like, he basically said, fuck you to Shakur. They saying, fuck you, man. I'm not dropping no strap just to whatever. Like, who are you? The same way he was like, well, who are you to dictate that I fight you at 144? He's like, well, who are you to tell me to fucking drop a belt now? After your whole claim to fame was your accolades, bro. I went up there and took out the most dangerous man at 147, whether it was ugly, whatever. I got a drop, I got a knockdown. Yeah, I might have held for dear life. He clinched me, I was clinching him. It was a hug fest in that motherfucker after the second round. You know what I'm saying? But like, hey, we got to give some blame to Devin. We got to give some blame to Brian Norman, which was my guy. I still support that man to this day. I'm just waiting on an announcement. I wanted to see him fight against Keyshawn, but I'll digress on that. But what I will say is, man, I will develop even more respect for Devin, because not aside from let's compartmentalize the dealings that he had with Tank. Let's just compartmentalize that, right? Let's look at this shit on a case by case basis. Let's compartmentalize him and Shakur. The next best thing is him and Keyshawn, which is the young up-and-coming guy. Still fairly unproven in my opinion. I think he gets a lot of benefit of the doubt for fighting smaller guys. I think people think that his power is more than what it is. I think they think that his chin is better than what it is. But one thing I can say about Keyshawn, he know that shit. He gonna swing. That nigga's gonna swing on you. And so for me, I think Devin Haney wins by having a more entertaining fight. Yeah, people want to know the results between him and Shakur, but like, people don't really want to pay money for that. I think that if that shit was held and you could say, all right, well, look, they're going to fight and then we're going to show it to you an hour later, just buy it, and then you can put it on, you know, you can put it on 2 times or 3 times or 4 times the speed, and you can speed watch that shit. I think people would like that. That's just me, though. So instead of watching in 36 minutes, man, you could probably watch it in about 12 minutes and see what happens. I think people would speed watch that shit and be A-okay with paying paying $20 speed watching for 12 minutes and then, okay, we see the results, because it ain't gonna be nothing now. With that shit that's gonna happen with him and Keyshawn, if this go down, you're gonna want to watch this. Why? Because it's inexperienced or unprepared, I think, that Keyshawn is for Devin, right? I do think that he does have the benefit of seeing the mistakes of Brian Norman, right? Watching film, having a team to kind of say, okay, look at these tendons. This is how he did with Brian Norman. And he knows that Brian Norman is a power puncher, and this is how we did it. Even though Devin might not do that. Devin might take on the more, he might take on the approach of what he did with Jose Ramirez, forcing Keyshawn to cut the ring. But there are a lot more unknowns in this than a joust fest. Like what was going to happen between him and Devin Haney. Up, I poked you on your belly button. Up, I tapped you on your earlobe. Up, I poked you in your forehead. Like, no. If Keyshawn gets in reach, he's going to try to touch that chin. And I think he knows that the only way really to beat Devin is to put hands on his ass. I think on the inside, Keyshawn is willing to work. He does great body work, but Devin will surprise you with his body work. Devin will surprise you with his body work. That's what I was saying between him and Richardson Hitchens. I say Richardson Hitchens is a more polished boxer. He's more athletic. He's more balanced. You know what I'm saying? He's not as clumsy as Devin, but Devin does do more body work. You know what I'm saying? But I always say him and Richardson Hitchens were like two sides of the same coin. And so the inside work, that's a puzzle, because Keyshawn, he won't clinch, but there are some times where he'll find himself where if you can clinch him, he'll be trying to punch, but he don't really beat the clinch like that. And Devin knows he's going to have to. It's a lot more unanswered in the Keyshawn versus Devin, which makes that a better fight. Why? Because we know at the end of the day, Keyshawn is going to try to tap that chin. He's not going to go in there and try to fence and try to, rest back and, oh, you missed up. Oh, yep, I made you miss. Oh, I made you pay. No, Keyshawn's going in there trying to like, look, I'm going to try to fuck you up. I know that I'm going to try. Whether he can cut the ring off, we don't know. We don't know. But I would be proud of Devin Haney if he said, you know what, fuck Shakur and that bullshit he doing. You moving like a pussy. Yeah, I said it. You moving like a bitch. You went over there when everybody was on the zone, when everybody can party hardy. You went over there to a motherfucking island, and you was a pawn in their game. And all they really trying to do, this wasn't about Shakur and Devin. This wasn't about Shakur and Tank. This was about them manipulating the board and manipulating the pieces to prevent big fights from happening, because they did the same shit with Jal Pataya. So this is not me being a tankomaniac. This is not me being Team Benny. This is me looking at the bigger picture and saying, nah, man, Zuffa, y'all lost. Because there's more niggas that Shakur won't fight than he will. But he said he could make any fight. And here he is. This fight ain't go down. Devin turned down a Tank fight. We compartmentalize that. We compartmentalize him and Shakur. If that is bygones be bygones, I will be happy that him and Keyshawn is going to get it on. Why? It will prove the section about it. Because a lot of people, it's odd, because a lot of people are saying, oh man, Tank, he ducked his mandatory in Schofield. And Schofield was having all kind of stupid ass, dumbass demands, and he pulled out 3 times, and he ducked Abdullah Mason for $1 million. Starting to think Schofield, I like the young man, but I'm starting to think they pussy too. They are a game. They're a gimmick in the sport of boxing. But it's crazy how a lot of people would say that Tank was ducking his mandatory, right? But then they was going to approve this if Devin dropped that belt and went over there to pursue Shakur. They was going to advocate for that, and they wasn't going to say that he ducked his mandatory. I'm like I said the other day, it's in that book that everybody read, the most popular selling book. They say that God is not a respecter of persons. I know that there's a lot of boxing fans that either buy, meaning they want it both ways. Right? So if your fighter, if you can claim that this fighter was ducking this fighter all the time, and then when that fighter send that fighter an offer and he say no, they still want to have it to where either way, this one fighter over here was ducking. It's like, okay, well, if he was ducking early, up until the point when he sent the offer and your guy said no, then at that point, your guy is ducking. Well, if this guy over here said no to his mandatory and he was a duck, If this guy drop a whole fucking belt the way he did when he was down at 35, when Shakur did that shit where he recorded Bill and was like, oh man, if it ever get hot at 35, we going to 40, bro. And he actually dropped that strap. That was the vacant strap that Shakur and De Los Santos fought for. When they set an anomaly, a record low, about 3 weeks to a month later than when Regis Programs and Rilla set that anomaly of a record low. They broke that record, but Regis didn't look good. But guess what Devin did? He dropped that strap and moved up, put Regis on a one-way rehydration clause and fought for a strap. We shut the fuck up because we can't say nothing when you're going for another strap, but like, you did this already, bro. So it was not going to be a good look if you dropped that strap to go fight Shakur. And then all the people that were saying Tank, even though Tank is still the champion in recess, he didn't drop the strap. He's the champion in recess. There will be no champion in recess if he renege on this shit and he go over there and drop that strap and go fight Shakur. There won't be none of that. If he dropped that strap, he's going to be in the same boat as with everybody else with the knives and the pitchforks out here for Tank saying he dropped that strap instead of fighting Floyd Schofield. They're going to say Devin dropped that strap instead of fighting Keyshawn. So I think it's a better look for Devin all the way around. It's a more entertaining fight. You were satisfied, your WBO, right? If you win, it'll still put you in position to go ahead and unify. You can go ahead and get Ryan. You can go ahead and get Rolly. You know what I'm saying? You can still undispute or do whatever you need to do. But I think it's an all-around good look for Devin. And I hope the little bit of respect that I gained for Devin, with my fingers crossed, that's why I got the little shushy face with my fingers crossed, like hoping to the boxing gods that, you know what I'm saying, he do go ahead and fight Keyshawn. Why? Because Keyshawn needed to. Keyshawn crashed out Davis, he needed to. He's too blind to realize that his buddy, because we used to call them buddy fuckers, like in the Army. Like when you telling your battle buddy, we call them buddy fuckers in the Army. He didn't realize that his buddy been fucking him for the longest time. I think he just now starting to smell the roses, you know what I'm saying? But like, he's so grateful and yet still a little bit naive that he don't even realize it. But it's going down on him, and I think it is. So hopefully we just get across the board, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully this ain't another thing. That's why I say you got to keep your fingers crossed, because you got to proceed with caution whatever bill comes out of his mouth, because y'all know the saying when they say if his lips is moving, he is lying. That's about Bill. So we can't trust Bill, man. You put all your faith in Bill, you're gonna be living under a bridge some goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta hope and pray to the boxing gods that they have truly moved on for Shakur. They're taking a mature approach, and they're gonna do what they need to do to get this fight across with Keyshawn. More entertaining fight. It'll satisfy the traditional sanctioning body. The winner would definitely have a lot more cachet in the division, because Devin would have been and took on two young, hungry lions, right? Tank took on a couple. He took on a Lamont Roach. He took on a Hector Garcia. He took on a Frank Martin. He took on a couple, right? But Devin would have been and took on Brian Norman, right? He would have been and took on Keyshawn Davis. If he wins, Keyshawn would have been able to move from 35 to 47 and beat somebody that just made it on the pound for pound. So he would be stamped. He would be legit. I think it's better off around for all the fight fans. I don't care if you're a Devin fan. I don't care if you're a Keyshawn fan. I don't care if you're part of the Shakur Friends and Family Network. I don't give a fuck. I'd be gassed. It'll just be better all the way around. For people who just love boxing, better fight. That's number 2. Number 3, man. Media manipulation 101, man. This is a thing, man. Like, I don't know if y'all be around when I be saying he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. I think sometimes it goes over everybody's head, but like the magazines you read, right? Like if you sit down, you stop, you in the coffee shop, you pick up a magazine, you're being programmed by the magazine you read. Now it could be good or bad. You could be programmed for positivity, or you could be programmed for whatever hidden agenda people want. Now that's a magazine. The news, When you watch the news, whatever's coming across, whatever's being echoed, whatever sentiments are being echoed, you are being programmed online. When you sit down and listen to your favorite program, your favorite content creator, they have an agenda. They have a program that they're trying to resonate or convey to you. You're being programmed. It don't matter what medium, because it's media. No matter what medium, whoever controls it. Because trust me, being militant, like being over there, like I was over in Iraq, right? I was in Korea. Like I was away, I was in foreign soil, looking at what and hearing what people from the States were saying, and then knowing, okay, I'm over here, so this is what's really going on versus what y'all are being told. That's why I always say, he who controls the printed page, it happens with conquerors. When you conquer a land and you take over everything, it's like, oh, listen, man, hey, nix that. Remember the Dark Ages? Y'all know what the Dark Ages was? Like the Dark Ages, when they confiscated all of the BIBLEs, right? They got together, they had a council, they sat down, they came up with who was going to be what. They came up with the who, what, when, why, and where. And during that time, there was no new architecture. There was no new artifacts. There were no new publications, journalism, and all that. That's why they called it the Dark Ages. And then when they came out with something, they said, okay, this is what this is. They said it was a hypostatic union. This man was half man, half God. He gave it to you. They put it in a book. And ever since then, it's been the highest selling book out there. I know people don't like the truth. But the truth is the truth. It is what it is. Don't shoot me. Don't hate me. That's what happened. But we're in an era now to where the Ring magazine, they'll come out and say something 1,000 times. Right? Pro boxing them, they'll come out and say something 500 times. The Boxing Voice, they'll come out and they'll say something 2,000 times. Tim Bradley, he'll come out and say something 100 times. Redman and Sean Zattel and all these people, they'll come out and they'll say something 50 times. Does that mean it's the truth? I'm not sure. They got to be qualified. But since it's media coming through a medium, it all got to be put up to the light and tested. You know that good dope, you know that dope when they pull you over and they find it, they say, oh man, I got a test packet right here. I'm going to put it up here and we going to see. If it turned bright orange, oh yeah, we know we got the real thing. You can tell me, oh yeah, this is headache medicine. This is, back pain medicine. When I put this test on it, when I hold it up to the light, when I put it up to the test, then we're going to really see what's going on. A lot of us don't test the shit that's going on in this media. We're being programmed. We're being manipulated through the media. Just because Mike Cap say it, just because Whack Max say it, it don't mean it is true. I even seen something with a pivot pocket. I don't know how this came through or whatever, but they start off with something small and let's go into something large. You're going to learn something today. But let's go over this. Let's look at this. This is something. This is a small one. We're gonna start with this one, then we're gonna graduate to something more complex, something more subtle, but yet more programmative. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. We talking about media manipulation. And The Pivot is one of my favorite podcasts, but look at this. I am the face of boxing. Boots in his boxing undisputed champ, not chasing fame. If I recall, Boots was just coming out before this last fight saying he was the cash cow. As far as I'm concerned, my little boxing knowledge, I know he's unified. He's not undisputed. And I'm not sure when he became the face of boxing. But it's funny how when it came down to people saying he got hurt or whatever it was, people came out in droves to say, oh, blah, blah, blah. When it came down to Tank tweeting out whatever it was, they came out in droves to qualify this. It's like nobody came out, his PR people. Imagine if they said that let's see, I'm Michael Rodgers. Let's just say that I was the Grammy nominee. Like, I was the one who wrote Be Humble. I would get slaughtered. People would find out where I actually lived and would come out and be like, man, fuck this nigga. Who is this trying to impersonate Kendrick Lamar, whatever. It's not the fact that you are ambitious. It's not the fact that you're ambitious. It's not the fact that that's what you aspire to be. It's the fact that it's not true. So I find it funny how we got people out here online that'll go through everything. They'll go through your personal records. They'll go through court filings. They'll go through all kind of shit to actually clarify with a fine-tooth comb to correct you. But they say nothing when it comes to shit like this. It's not a disrespect to Boots. It's the people that go along with it where they don't say nothing. It's all the people who made all these excuses for Fulton, saying, oh man, he was dehydrated, he was this, he was that, but then came out with knives and pitchforks when Earl Spence came out about a month and a half ago talking about his truth. They came out with knives and pitchforks to correct it, but then when the same ones co-signing what Fulton said, it's like, you know, we have a lot of boxing fans. So where y'all want to be police, y'all want to be political, y'all want to make sure everything is just dress right, military style. Everything is dress right, That's what we say in the military. Y'all want to make sure that all that shit is policed up. Oh, that's not right. Let me clarify this. But y'all don't want to clarify certain shit. But then again, we got a lot of boxing content creators, and we got a lot of boxing fans to where y'all want it both ways. It don't work like that. If you're gonna be meticulous, be meticulous. Where has Boots done to say that he was the face of boxing? Aspiring to be? Because if Abdullah Mason said, yeah, I'm the face of boxing, as humble as that man is, and the way he approached it, there will be people out in droves shutting that shit down. But because we're thirsty, we want a star. We want it to be so, and he's on his way. He has the promise. But that's not true. It's also not true that he's undisputed either. He's unified. So the same way people were critical and going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, PR, whoever manages, whatever, they shouldn't even allow this shit to be able to be posted up here with all of this right here. Why? Because if you go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, you all in the nooks and crannies, you all digging deep, and you want to be so detailed and so whatever, but you let this shit fly, you a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. That's what you are. So it's no knock on the man. And before you get in the mess hall, like you in the mess hall with your chest out, unless you can produce some shit like this right here, trying to label me as a hater, unless you can produce some shit like this right here, with me being at the Stanyanis fight, where I witnessed history when they unified. That was in Atlantic City. We was on the Love Cam. We was on the Love Cam when they came and they, you know what I'm saying, they showed the Love Cam and whatever, and they told us get ready or whatever. That was me and the missus. So before you say that means that I bought tickets, went up there to Atlantic City. So that's not about that. It's about y'all niggas being consistent and practicing the shit that y'all preach. But y'all don't do that. Y'all are respectable persons. The other thing is, a lot of people are letting them float with that because they know about the shit that happened with him and Tank Davis. That's some shit that I ain't even really want to get into, but I'm like, man, I think that Tank had a right to be upset. Why? Who else put Boots on their undercard? Who can you name? Tank put David Benavidez on his undercard. Boots was on his undercard. Bam Rodriguez was on his undercard, but guess what happened? Bam and his superstardom. So if Bam was saying, I'm the face of boxing, y'all probably be coming out trying to check him, but do he have more of a claim? They say he's the face of boxing. It's like, no, you all are respecters of persons. Y'all don't keep the same energy when it comes. You just sound, shit y'all be saying sound good because nobody's around to check y'all asses. And y'all be feeling yourselves and smelling yourselves. Y'all get away with shit like that. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. I think Tank did have I think he should have felt the kind of way. If I put you on my undercard and I put you up under my wing, you didn't knock out Karen. People say you got exposed in that fight. That's not my fault. I put you in the spot to be. I gave you the alley hoop. I said, hey, shorty, right over there. She said you was handsome. You know what I'm saying? She was like, hey, you fly. She told me give you her number. She over here at the A-Love. This is where she gonna be at. She gonna be right here at the bar. She said, pop through. I'll put you in position to go there. Like, whether you fumbled her or not, like, whatever happens, like, if it was a happy ever ending, you got a happy ending, whatever it was, you fumbled that. Especially in this era where Tank don't have not one ally in this business right now. You got people pointing fingers at his coaches. You got everybody in the media pointing fingers at him. Anybody that he even cared for, whatever. You got AB doing the crazy, stupid shit that he was doing with Tank. Being all friendly with the ops and saying I love you and all this, whatever. But Tank ain't got a right to feel no kind of emotion. He ain't got a right to feel no kind of way. Y'all gotta stop that shit. That's not real life. Because if I come out here just like what I'm doing right now, when I step on a lot of niggas' toes, I'll come out and say some shit like this right now, right? Go over to another channel that been fucking with me, and guess what they do? They read the comment above me, the comment below me, and all that. Why? Because of some shit I said over here. Y'all niggas are hypocrites. If we gonna go through shit with a fine-tooth comb, we cannot be manipulated by the media in no sense, especially if you one of them fine-tooth comb type niggas. Well, you like to get all up in the nooks and crannies. You like every single solitary detail. You the type of niggas that when people really going to the movies, they be there 15 minutes before the previews start. With popcorn and Twizzlers and the Coke. Chocolate covered almonds. Y'all type niggas. But y'all just let some shit float. No, you are a hypocrite, bro. So either relax, do your job at all times, or relax. That's the small one. Let's get into something that's more critical. Something that means a little bit more to the sport than just somebody mislabeling a video and mistitling and letting somebody run with some shit that's not true. Let's move on from that. Let's move on to some verbiage. Let's have some class. Melazar, salute Melazar. Let's move on to something else. Remember, I told y'all this is something I'm doing. And this is something I started doing where I said, you know what? Somebody got to combat this. Because it started when I said something about the PBC needing to address the elephant in the room and them needing a hub to just back their fighters and the people that they represent, right? I started off by saying, listen, these guys are hitmen, right? This nigga, Chris, big head, blue suit Mannix, this nigga need to be counseled. Why? Because when it ever comes to anybody, especially up here on this screen, right? They will say anything, and if they call in your fights, them unofficial scorecard, they're gonna be all fucked up. This guy right here, he's gonna narrate the fight. This guy right here, he's gonna narrate the fight as if you getting shit beat down your leg. And it's apropos, the Latin snake, Matchroom Media hitman. That's why I said, man, all that cross promotion, y'all gotta do some shit about these guys that's calling these fights and these unofficials. Y'all better get some Moro Ronaldis in there. Y'all better get Brian in there. Y'all want to get Brian Custer on there. Y'all gonna have to mix this shit up in time to come because these are media hitmen. But let's get more specific. Let's get surgical with this shit. Cause I told you I'm surgical with this shit, Jake. Whack Max Kellerman. And yes, I'm still smoking on that turkey pack. Because contrary to popular belief, even though people want to take credit, and I don't give a fuck about the credit, but I told y'all that Turkey Al-Sheikh, what was he? He was a Trojan horse. I was saying that from the beginning. A lot of people adopted that, right? But the main question and reason why I qualified it was, I said, was he good for American boxing? Were they really making American boxing great again? What did they do to American boxing? Look at the heavyweight division since they got involved. We don't have a heavyweight. Look at all of the stars that could have made fights. We've been getting fights, but they done procured every piece of talent that could be the opponent or the opposite end to a big fight for American boxing. They done locked them up, sold them up, overpaid them. Even down to the fact that where now Eddie is saying the niggas is getting paid 5 times more than their market value. Even though Eddie was doing the same thing with the budget of Al-Sheikh. What else did I call him? And I don't get no credit for. Who was Sugar Daddy Sheik? That's all he was. I'm like, hey, at some point in time, man, you ain't gonna be able to just kiss your sugar daddy on the cheek, man. On the cheek, man. It ain't gonna be enough back massages and knee rubs. Guess what's gonna happen? Just like Earthquake said. Earthquake, the comedian, he said, yeah, one day you're gonna go over there to see your sugar daddy. You're gonna come through the door. That nigga gonna have a knee brace on and a pocket full of Viagra. And it's gonna be over for you. He gonna work you over. You know what I'm saying? He gonna rake you over the coals. He gonna do you something bad. And guess where we at? This is where we at. But because right nowadays, this is what we have in boxing talk nowadays. It just, you come in and it'd be foot longs and quarter pounders and half smokes. You be like, hold on. What the fuck did I walk into? It's this sausage party. It's just everybody just want to just, you know what I'm saying? No. You have no right to your opinion. You have no right to free think, critically think, even though you be around people that claim they critically think and are free thinkers. You just can't free think and critically think and say anything about it when you're over there rocking with them. But they're going to escort you up out of there. Like the minute you start asking the pastor, like, hold on, man, ain't this the third offering you done passed around the collection plate, bro? What's going on here, man? You gonna give me the good gospel? Or you really out there for them Benjamin? They're gonna be like, hey, Brother Rogers, come here for a second. Let me escort you out. Let me escort you out of here. But that's not gonna stop us from doing what we do. We do that body work, baby. It ain't no stopping us, man. Ain't no stopping us, man. But I'm a school y'all. I'm gonna learn y'all something today. Let's get back to something that this man said. Let me play something for y'all, man. Let's go to school, man. Let's have some class, man. Let's because I told y'all, man, this is nutritional value, man. This is not McDonald's. This is not 7-Eleven. Dead wall, salute. Okay, I got you. You back here. Dead wall, salute. I appreciate you. But let's listen to something. Let me play something for y'all. Listen to this, y'all. Oh, hold on. My bad. Listen. Let me take it back. Listen, y'all, listen.
All right. Do you think that he is, or rephrase, what kind of a choice as an opponent do you think Rolly is for Teal's welterweight debut? I'll give you my impression. I'll answer. So my impression is Teal is at a certain level. A fight after Shakur can't just be a guy that no one's heard of. Mm-hmm. And I think there is a sense that of the bigger names in boxing right now, especially a guy who may have something that he wants, including a sanctioning body belt, which is a fractional title, really.
What did he call it? I want y'all listen to this, y'all. They getting real creative with the shit that they be saying, y'all. And this is where y'all gonna learn something today, goddammit. Listen.
That of the bigger names in boxing right now, especially a guy who may have something that he wants, including a sanctioning body belt, which is a fractional title, really.
A WBA belt. It's not a secondary belt. It's not the shit that y'all like flambéed and roasted, even though he was going up against all the disadvantages in the world going against Mario Barrios when it was a secondary title. This is a legit championship, y'all. A legit championship. What did he call it? This is why I said they be having notes, and this is a hit piece. Why? Because they came out and they said Rolly ducked Devin, or the money wasn't right. Devin came out and said the money was right, and then ultimately said the money wasn't good, and there was no guarantees, and that Shell Up Promotional Company got their ass kicked in, and they got exposed along with other things, and that fight didn't go on. Then he ducked another nigga from PBC, which we parking lot of that. We compartmentalized that. But this is what they do. So in a fight where PBC got something going on in Rolly, right? T.O. he getting back on, and I don't really care for T.O. right now. He got to show me, he got to show improve, because he's on a roller coaster as always. You know, because Shakur got overblown for the win over T.O., right? And then T.O., I don't know. They act like he was the best thing since sliced bread, but the same thing Shakur said was like he had already lost. He's getting back on track. They're trying to say he's weight drained. He was weight drained, and he was long in the tooth for the division, and all this bullshit. They coming out in hindsight trying to church it up. I don't buy none of that shit. Jay Prince went over to that man's house. They had a sit down meeting or whatever, and that nigga got told the same shit that Caleb Plant got told when he was going up against Canelo Alvarez. You can win this fight, but I don't think you want to win this fight. And somebody else, if you want to debate me on it, man, fuck it, let's debate. That don't take away from what we're hearing right now. Listen to what Max says, y'all.
Of the bigger names in boxing right now, especially a guy who may have something that he wants, including the sanctioning body belt, which is a fractional title, really.
A fractional title. I've never heard no shit like that. That means that, okay, since it's 4 sanctioning bodies and you got one, so we're gonna say what, Rolly is a quad?
Oh my god.
What is, so is in this, he's a halvesy, and what, in Fondora he's a quad? Y'all hear this dumb shit? But listen, let it continue.
He's seen as the most beatable one.
That's it. But I want to show y'all something. And this is how I say they be trying to reinvent history and how they be mind fuckery and this is media, y'all. These are media games to where it's like that shit will get. See, you don't realize it because if they play some music like I be doing, I'll be playing that music in the background, so some of this shit get lodged in your brain. You don't really realize why you talking and saying some of the things that you saying because it was said behind music and it's locked in your broker. So if they play some music behind this shit like they do sometimes and they say little shit like that, that fractional title shit, that shit will get lodged in your broker. And you'll be going around with it in your subconscious. This is proven. This is science. It'll be in your mind, and you don't even realize how it got there. That's why they say the ABCs in a sing-songy A, B, C, D with a little melody behind it. With a melody behind it. So let me learn y'all something, and then we can move forward to the meat and potatoes. And I see you, Melazar. I appreciate you coming. I know you're a hardworking man.
I want to ask you a question. Like if when you put all the titles combined, like it's gonna come like a superpower. You remember Captain Planet when they put all the rings together? Yeah.
Yeah. A fractional title. But look at this, y'all. This is really it, y'all. And I gotta school y'all something. Y'all know how dumb he sound? So what I did was, and I could have done this with fractional title. I could have done this fractionally for the WBC, fractionally for the WBO, fractionally for the IBF. But I did it fractionally since we're talking about Rolly and it was the WBA. And I said, okay, I was born in 1980, December 20th, 1980. That's when I was born. So all the research I do, I say, hey, I'll just go from my time when I first came here up to the present. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'll let my historians like OG Cass, I'll let Crush, I'll let my historians and people that really are well versed in those things and really like stamp their claim to fame in those things, I'll let them do that. This is how I do my research. But if we want to say fractional, so listen how dumb we sound in the 1980s. So Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, Azuma Nelson, Pernell Whitaker, Jeff French. That's just in the 80s. All them guys were fractional champions. Let's move on. 1990s. Evander Holyfield, Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Roy Jones, James Toney. Hey, 3 days ago, James Toney started following your boy. Hey, salute to your boy Bodywork. James Toney started following your boy on Instagram 3 days ago. The great James Toney. Lights Out Tony. Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Nassim Hamed, Costa Zoo, Ricardo Lopez. That's just in the 90s. All these fractional champions. The 2000s. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, Joe Calzaghe, Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, Juan Manuel Marquez, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, Chris John. In the 2000s, fractional champions. 2010s to present, Canelo Alvarez, the great 3-time undisputed Terrence Bud Crawford, Terrence Crawford, Naoya Inoue, Alexander Usyk, Triple G, Andre Ward, Lomachenko, Roman Gonzalez, Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol. According to Max Kellerman, they were all fractional champions. Y'all hear how dumb? These are the guys that's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. They'll get an ex-football player who should be over there talking fucking football, but he over here talking boxing, to talk boxing, and they'll argue with somebody like Malik Scott and Gabe Rosado like they don't know what the fuck they talking about, and neither one of them ever laced them up. And they'll make up a term like a fractional champion and have niggas running with it like, oh yeah, man, Max in the ring and Mike Coppinger. Mike Coppinger, that nigga can barely even talk. He's the definition of socially awkward. So where every time you talk to him, his voice start off low, he start mumbling, and he start talking real fast, and he'll get up and give you this little perverted look. He the type of nigga that'll go to the motherfucking produce aisle and just watch motherfuckers when they watch women when they come through, like at the entrance, and just look at them. And just follow them over to the fucking poultry section, and then follow them over to the deep freezer, and don't ever say hi, don't say what's up, don't say nothing. He'll just look. But these niggas run the conversations in boxing. And I don't know shit, but I just be catching on to their bullshit. I just wanted to school y'all, like, listen to the shit that I be seeing, and I'm like, nah, I can't let this go by. Like, I could have fried this nigga for a whole 2 hours with this bullshit that they be saying. But it's like, I would not take my time out and all my energy to fully divest it into them dumb niggas, because they gonna keep coming up with dumb shit. What y'all got?
Mira, what's up, AC? What's up, Rollers? What's up, everybody?
What's happening?
Bro, I was laughing with that fractional bullshit. You know why Rolly now is gonna fight Tio, right? After Haney drop out and all that bullshit, what's a name running around and was Nestor Bravo. He fought in the Subriel Matias court in January. He won by knockout, whatever. But he been fluctuating from 135 to 147. You know, he don't have a big name, but he got hands. So
Bravo,
Rolly, Nestor Bravo. That's his name.
Nestor Bravo. Yeah, so, I know him.
But for Rolly, like Rolly's looking for a fight with some names and stuff because he can sell the fight. But if he beat that guy, that's a nobody. So nobody gonna give him credit, right? Or if that guy beat him, oh my God, and nobody beat you. So nah. So Teofimo came up. Okay, that's a good name. But now, because he's trying to get a fight, he's trying to sell the core, entertain the people. Now his title have no value because like, since when every boxer have to win the 4 titles in to be legit? you should win the title and defend it, right? Like if the opportunity comes for unifying because it's two great champions fighting and defending, then that fight came up, you know, like there's so much bullshit, this media garbage shit. Like I understand why, because the casual listen to these people. The other night I was listening to Shannon, you know, that nightcap whatever shit, and boom was Shakur in that shit arguing with Shannon. Oh no, you're ignorant. No, he's not ignorant. He's a casual, and that's what casual believe. And you know they have money and they will pay for fights. But if a casual think like that, that's their thought, and why they're ignorant. It's like me with soccer. You know, I'm a casual. I don't watch that shit. It was the World Cup. I was watching every game, and I'm getting entertained. But doesn't mean after this shit is over, I'm gonna keep watching that shit. You know, like it's the same with these casual boxing fans that they love UFC. They love all kind of shit, right? So they just want to get entertained. They want to have a good time. Go to the casino, go to the bar, watch a good fight, go to the, you know, get entertained. They don't want to be in lecture of what is boxing. They want to see two guys hammering the shit off each other and see a knockdown. Like when I watch baseball, I want to watch a home run, right? Like last night, the home run derby. You want to watch home runs. Like that's why you watch baseball. It's the same with boxing. Yeah, it's cool to watch a 12-round war, but not all the time. And you don't want to be like, bro, I'm paying money to get entertained. I'm not paying money to fall asleep. So, but of course, they're young. They overpay them for places that they're not packed. They lose money, and they think they earn that money, but they don't know where that money come from. ¿Tú me entiendes? Rolly know where that money come from. So he know he needs to entertain the people. He needs to have a good opponent that have a pedigree so he can sell his car and make money. But look at Shakur and all other boxers, you know, they, oh no, I'm gonna sign with these people because they're gonna pay me a lot of money. But where you think the money come from? Yes, you got a name, but if you don't entertain the people, they cannot sell you out. So how you gonna get paid? People always want to talk about Mayweather, right? Like, I don't know, but people forget he knocked out people. And he used to do, how you say, press conference, but a media tour all cross country. Like he used to go almost every freaking state selling his pay-per-view. You know, so he knew that he had to sell himself to make money. The money don't come from the sky. But when they see a guy hustling like Rolly and doing his shit, they're gonna shit on him and say, "Oh, you got a fractional title. You know, it's not good enough." Like, why? I'm defending my title. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Look with this stuff with Ennis. And I told you, the winner of that fight is gonna be the face, right? Everybody gonna talk to them and shit. But you know how it is. Now he's undisputed shit, and they gonna make. Hey, you don't need to be so like people saw what he did, how he fight. Now he got a good opponent. You're gonna have another ones, but you don't need to create shit just to sell him out. Like we all know. But you know, casuals read that shit because I even listen to this dude. You know, I told you I know it's way too much information out there. I watched some podcast here, podcast there, get the information here, there, and know what's going on. But I watch the fight. But it's a lot of casuals that go to these channels because they think that is where the real news is coming from. And whatever they say is the truth. And they go and copy paste everywhere else. Oh no, now I bet, give it a week. He's a fractional title, he's a fractional champion. Like we're playing Transform. What is these cartoons? I forgot. Yeah, it was another one that you put all together.
Voltron.
Yeah,
Voltron.
yeah, Voltron. Yeah, that shit. You know, yes. Like what the fuck? You know, yes, if these other people holding titles and they're good champion and make a fight between those two, yes, it's gonna make a lot of money and people want to watch it. But just holding 4 belts, just like and it's not that easy like people think, because every have to work together. The promoters, the fighters, who is the opponent. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's the reason we got 4 titles, because it's for all over the world. Sometimes they're in Australia, sometimes they're in Russia, sometimes they're in the United States, sometimes in South America. I don't know where the champion is. So but that's me.
Yeah.
My bad.
So one of the things that you said, you touched on that Shannon Sharp, but I was going to ask you, what was the difference between what Shannon Sharp was saying and then your sentiments? Like whenever we used to talk about Richardson Hitchens, you used to always tell me, man, I know that's your guy, but I don't give a fuck about Hitchens. Like nobody want to see that. You know what I'm saying? It's and you, I would deem you as a hardcore. Like you probably a casual to a certain extent, as far as like you might not have the time, but like as far as your philosophies and you following boxing, you a real hardcore. So like what's the difference between what Shannon was telling Shakur versus what you were saying about Richardson Hitchens?
Because okay, Shannon, it's not like us that we are always studying every boxers. I know all these names and stuff. Shannon is more like he's the fan that he knows these couple names, and he just go like he don't watch UFC. He don't know all the name of the UFC fighter. But if it's a good core with couple names that he know, he will watch it and talk about it, right? So it's the same with boxing. Right. So to Shakur is a name. He has fought. Like he's not telling him you're a bad boxer, but you have no knockdowns, and people don't get entertained like that. And he got offended because he's entitled. He expecting everybody be kissing his ass for what? For 2 fights? Like, bro, you have fought nobody yet. And yes, you're not that entertaining. You're starting to be a little bit entertaining, but it's not something that I'm gonna stop, I don't know, hanging out with a girl and going to a restaurant to stop and watch your fight. We will do it because that's what we do, we expecting Saturday night to watch boxing. Like this Saturday is Pacheco and all these guys. But casual like Shannon, and they're just gonna get entertained, like hang out with the boys, drink couple beers, smoke a cigar, watch couple guys beat the crap of each other and call it out. Like Annie's people got happy, doesn't matter, you see anyone and shit, but everybody got happy because everybody got entertained, got a freaking fight. You don't need a freaking class to teach. Oh no, he won because he moved like this and he's good like this. But he's moving back. Like yes, Shakur is, but you have no knockdown. Like it's the same shit with Haney. Like people are not gonna get entertained about them.
Let's be real, Melazar. Let's be real. It's just like sex, man. If Shorty ain't like, wow, like, can we do this again tomorrow? She not like that. If you gotta sit there and say, oh, because no, what I was really doing was, see, because I was going in at this angle and I was doing, she didn't want to hear. That's how boxing is, like to a certain extent. Yeah, like for the hardcores, for the ones that really want to break down like all of the technique and this and oh yeah, this is what this is called, and yeah, he stepped over and yeah, he flanked them and he was using angles. It's like sex, bro. Like if you got to explain what you were doing in the act, like it's not great. Like you might have got the job done, you know what I'm saying? But for a lot of people, they're not getting that climax out of when they see you fight. That's why they really don't have no interest. You can't be mad at them. Like, yeah, you getting paid. They're just like, you know what I'm saying, one of them, you know what I'm saying, lot lizards. Like, hey, if you give her bread, she happy if she got your bread. If you don't get off and she got her bread, hey, she gonna roll out. That's what Shakur's doing. He don't care as long as he get his bread and he can skate off and say, hey man, I did what I needed to do and I got my bread and I'm gone. But it's like, no, like we didn't climax, bro. We didn't get what we thought, and that's like it's just that simple. It's just like sex. Like if you gotta explain that shit, then it wasn't all that good.
And that's like you're gonna keep jumping from promotional company to promotional company because everybody's losing money. If you was making that big money, a promoter will not let you go because you're his how you say, his golden goose, his cash cow, and nobody gonna let go a cash cow. If they let you go that easy, that means you're not making money, bro. You're costing more money than the one you're making. So okay, go. Yeah, go. Take that headache away from me. Perfect. No problem.
Exactly.
No
Exactly.
sue, no court, no bullshit. Yes, just go. Why? You remember
Right.
Julio Cesar Chavez, the fault that Don King had with Bob Arum, because Bob Arum want to steal Julio Cesar Chavez out of Don King, and Don King don't allow it, and they were stealing these boxers, and was a lot of lawsuits and shit like that. But why? Because these boxers are cash cow, and everybody want to make a piece of money out of them. But if they let you go, nobody's making money out of you. So yeah, you're gonna fight once a year, like Crawford did. Yes, he beat Canelo and Spencer, and okay, but yeah, those are his two big fights because he fought big people. But they keep him in the shelf for a whole year, once a year. Oh yeah,
Exactly.
you're making that much money for real? Oh, what? Maybe living in Omaha, Nebraska, not paying that much taxes in a freaking hillbilly town. Maybe can last 50K can last you a whole year, but in a real city with real expenses and shit, trust me, 50K don't last you fucking 2 months, 3 months.
Right. But yeah, man. Hey, glad to have you back, man. You I know it's your season, man. I know it's warm, and this is your time to make your bread. So I appreciate you taking time out, man. Let me see what AC got on his mind, man. What you got on your mind, AC?
Well, let's start at number 3. Put it up again. And the media manipulation. Excuse me. I'm gonna start. What's good, Malice? I'm gonna start with the Shannon Sharp thing, because that was something I wanted to speak on anyway. Here's my issues with that and media manipulation, to where I've seen videos where people were like, was Shannon Sharp right in saying that Shakur Stevenson, Hall of Famer, blah, blah, pound for pound fighter. He's not a boxer. He's not this. He's not that. Okay, so if you do an interview with Brian Custer, Marv Albert, Howard Cosell, you feel what I'm saying? These are some of the current greats, or one of the current greats, and some of the past great sports figures. They covered everything. And the way I look at Shannon Sharp pretty much the same way. Because at the end of the day, I haven't seen a fight, and if I calculate every view of Shakur Stevenson since he turned pro, we're going to match pro for pro, not even college numbers, pro for pro views. Pro for pro views. Shannon Sharp has one interview that'll double every fucking view you've ever done, Shakur, combined. You don't have that mega spectacle. Shannon Sharp has the Cat Williams interview. Mega spectacle. Now I can compare any one of your fights to say, was it on the level of Shannon Sharp's interview with Cat Williams? Hell fucking no. Hell no. Did anybody ever spoof anything from Shakur? Like Saturday Night Live. Talk about a Shakur fight over a Shannon Sharp interview with Cat Williams. Hell no. So Shakur, when you telling somebody they being disrespectful, young man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, and you should really shut the fuck up. Because that man right there has broke the internet. Nothing you've ever done in your fucking career with your crying, whining, and everything has never broken the internet. And that's the reality, Shakur. One guy is a media giant. You want those type of views, Shakur. Any fucking boxer wants those type of views, Shakur, and the Shakurians, And anyone else who's trying to co-sign that little disrespectful piece of shit for saying what he was saying to that man. Number two, on the same interview, right? Let's talk about what matters. You feel what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, everything Shakur's ever done, to me, just doesn't matter when you want to compare it to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is a real Hall of Famer. You're not there yet. You're definitely not there yet. People can make the argument right now, but like I said, there's always going to be an asterisk in context if you keep moving the way you're moving. Because you're not doing shit one by one by one by one. And if you do 2 fights or 3 fights in a row, you're going to say, well, everybody should be telling me I'm pound for pound right now. You put your entire career, and I don't know how this came into the ethos that if you beat Oscar Valdez, you're a pound for pound fighter. I have to look at things like that, and then I have to wonder, where are we actually going with this sport? You know, where does the shit end where this young man gets all of this credibility, and when someone who's saying casual, or you want to call him a casual or whatever, at the end of the day, that same casual watched the same big fights we all watch. The casual and the diehards come together to watch some of the biggest fights. They even come together to watch some of the non-biggest fights, just because the names involved. So if a person sees what they see, do I need to be a diehard to tell you what I saw? If I saw the same punch that your daughter saw, you're gonna tell me, oh, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know shit about boxing. So let me ask you this question. When your daughter said he almost knocked you out, why don't you come at her with the same energy? Because you're her dad, you can easily correct her. No, sweetheart, no, we don't say stuff like that about daddy because yada, 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 yada. But then when someone else says the same thing that your daughter just repeated, it's, you don't know shit about boxing. Oh, how could you say that? He was more off balance. Doesn't fucking matter. He got cracked. Now,
I got an example from today with my brother-in-law. He's a big soccer fan. You know, he know all this stuff. I was watching the Spain and France game, and I told him, bro, it's looking like Spain is humiliating France. You know, because I'm just watching this game. I'm not an expert in soccer. I don't watch that shit all the time. I say, bro, yes, they're doing this, and that. Not because I'm not an expert in the sport. I can watch what was happening, you know? I told him, bro, what he will told me, oh, you don't know nothing about soccer or whatever. No, he told me, yeah, that's the example. You
yeah,
don't want to.
And yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because for me, I watch a lot of restaurants, and I watch a lot of restaurant reviews, and then there's always somebody that'll say something like, well, you know, I don't know how a person can be proud of themselves to spend $800-900 on one meal. And it's like, see, you've never been to a fine dining restaurant. You've never had a tasting menu. So you're only going by what your feelings are telling you. It's the price point that's fucking you up, not the experience, not the things you ate. At the end of the day, I don't need to have an expert tell me if an omelet I made tastes good or not. If it tastes good, it doesn't matter whether it's a expert, it doesn't matter whatever. Now, here's the funny part. The higher level you get as a chef, or all the chefs that I've ever met that are at this high level, guess what happens? The one toughest person who pretty much almost all the time hates the shit that you make and won't eat it is your own fucking kids. And I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just saying it's like, me growing up, I had to come out and be creative and make some sort of, you know, roasted apple with brown sugar and maple type shit to get my kids to like my food. But if I just sometimes just made them like spaghetti with the way I know how to make it with herbs and all of that, they eat that and be like, ooh, what's the greenish black stuff in it? Oh, that's basil and thyme. No, I don't like it. You haven't even eaten it. Yeah, but I don't like it. It looks, and you just sitting there like, you haven't even eaten this shit and you're going to tell me you don't like it? No, but I don't like it. Okay, what do you want? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Ain't this about a bitch? I done sat here, bought this ground beef, made this spaghetti, put this sauce, made this sauce from scratch, from just canned crushed tomatoes. At the end of the day, the only person that's going to be eating this big pot of spaghetti is me, because none of my kids is going to touch it. Oh my fucking God. And as a parent and as a chef, you just got to deal with it. Not everybody's going to love your shit, especially your own kids. And that's just the reality. I'm not going to dislike well, you don't know shit about food, and take your little ass to the room and you ain't getting shit for dinner. You know, I'm not going to do that. Now, moving on to number 2. Dev shift focuses to Keyshawn. Well, we were kind of looking at that like, okay, how long are these guys going to play this charade? And everybody knows, all right, once you start getting this and this, you can't, you know, this shit is not barbecue. The fight itself is the meat or the brisket. Shakur versus Devin Haney is brisket, Wagyu brisket. Now, I could season it any different way I want to. I can go a more Latin style, which is South and West Texas style. You feel what I'm saying? Put some chiles on it and stuff like that. Or I could do it, you know, Midwestern style with just some salt and some fresh ground black pepper. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I can season it however I want to. Just to build your expectation of the flavor. Oh, word, you put that on it? Wow, I never had it with that. I'm looking to try that. What's the sauce? Oh, the sauce is Wow. So when you look at how fights are made like barbecue. You have the product, and now it all depends on how you season it and how long you let it smoke. And the thing is that even if this fight comes to fruition, it's still the kind of thing that it's like, meh. Does it excite me? Nah. Brian Norman excited me more. You feel what I'm saying? Because I look at Keyshawn and say, all right, there's other work out there for you. I don't know how you get the opportunity just to go up and fight Dev when there is some really good competition, and I would have loved to see you move your way up to and fight like the Polancos and other guys at 47. But at the end of the day, they're moving him in a certain way, and now it's the drama around Keyshawn and it's the drama around Shakur. So you're the drama queens. You're the drama twins. You feel what I'm saying? Whenever your names are mentioned, there's just controversy around it. And you guys love that because that's what builds your brand. That's what's moving the needle online. Everybody wants to talk about is Devin ducking Shakur, Keyshawn, and is Keyshawn gonna accept the offer and Shakur's offer, and everybody seems to be ducking Tank, but Tank is also clout chasing. And I'm just like, wow. And Bill is out here telling people, no, Tank ain't gonna fight till next year. How the fuck do you know that, Bill? And then people are out here, well, Tank, and I know from a trusted source that Tank is not gonna be fighting till next year. What's your trusted source, Bill Haney? Are you fucking kidding me? Bill Haney is your source on Tank Davis. Yeah, Bill be keeping it real these days. He be keeping it real bullshit these days. Like, how are you gonna believe Bill on that? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, because you guys actually believe that Rolly ducked Devin. So, and it was the money, and Rolly made an offer to Devin Haney where Devin Haney wasn't gonna get paid. That was the original offer. There was just never no money for Devin Haney to get paid. And that made sense to you. Yeah, because PBC didn't have this and PBC didn't. You know what? Do me a favor. Let me see your ball, please. Let me see it. Yeah, thank you. First of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all, now go get that bitch. Because I don't want you in this park right now with me. The fuck out of here. So for me, that's kind of the way I kind of look at it. Now, I'm going to go to the next one. Vargas. Yeah, young Vargas, he's nice. I don't remember who I was talking to, but we were both like, yeah, Vargas is nice. Like he's that young kid is something special, and this is something I say sometimes. I call it the Venus and Serena effect. Venus was the star, and Venus was a monster, savage when she's on the court. But little sis grew up looking like that, and little sis was there on the court trying to keep up with her. And when little sis got her body with all of that power in them thick ass legs, little sis came out and she started to shine. Now the youngest Vargas will probably benefit off of that because he's got a whole family to look at and different layers to plan his shit and stuff like that. The same thing where everybody's talking about, the youngest Mason brother. Oh, he's everything. Yes, because he has all of those other brothers to look at and build upon. Boots. The eye test with Boots is because he comes from that family. He has all of those different layers to look at. Mistake after mistake after mistake, I won't do that. And then when it comes down to the training, yeah, we trained this way, it was a mistake. We trained that way, it was a mistake. Now I think we've got the formula, and guess who's there to do it? We got the youngest one. So it's usually the same way. This is why people say, you know what? When you come from a big family and you the youngest child, you got it the easiest. Because you didn't have to go through the shit that I went through. How the fuck doesn't apply to these fighters who come from boxing families where it's more than one brother? The same logic has to apply, people. And that's where it's like critical thinking. Where the fuck is it? Of course that's gonna be that way. The only thing that fucks that up is if the fucked up part of the family is hereditary and it starts to show. That's about it. There's certain things you just can't, the gene's just not gonna fix. You know what I'm saying? And if you have this propensity to do what your family's done, then more than likely your career is gonna end just like everybody else. Although you may have gotten a little bit higher. You may have gotten 3 steps or 6 steps or 10 steps higher than everybody else on that success ladder. But the story still ends the same way because the shit that they did is hereditary for you. Is Vargas showing me that? Is Boots showing me that? Vargas is not showing me that stuff yet. You feel what I'm saying? Is Boots showing some things? I don't know. I can't really say. You know, maybe if Boots had respect for Xander's power, he might have not got caught like that. If Xander was the type of guy that they was talking about power, would we have seen Boots in a slugfest with Xander? I don't know. So those are the questions. Sometimes those are the things that linger on because the fighter's not giving us those things. Vargas has a promising future. I'm in the same position with Body, where we're both in agreement that Mason and Vargas are on a collision course, whether people want to accept it or not. This is something we even talked about offline. Like, yeah, these two, Mason is going to get up to 40 and they're going to want to see Abdullah Mason. The whole thing was, will the fight get made?
But let's see if they don't tank Alan Chavez because he's right there between those two. That freaking Argentinian can change the game plan. Yo, Alan Chavez, the Veneno. Oh my God, that guy is nasty.
But at the end of the day,
But let's see, because you know how it is. He's from Argentina. Sometimes they mess up with the visa, or you know how those
exactly.
they
It's all of
them and
those.
shit.
It's all of those type of things. But when we're talking about the two guys in the one country together, more than likely it's going to be, one of them may face him. You feel? I don't think Abdullah Mason faces him at 35 at this particular point in his career. You feel what I'm saying? Because he's already in that top tier. Yes, the eye test may tell us other guys are dangerous, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, Mason has shown us so far a pretty proven track record that no matter how tough the guy is, Mason has that other gear, whether it's coached on by his pops or whatever, but he's shown he can go into that other gear and be a champion. You feel what I'm saying? So there's always somebody that everybody's like, yeah, I would love to see this person fight this person, but sometimes the trajectory and where people are, it takes some severe sequences that'll drop one guy's name that's up there to now be level with the other guy, or the opportunities just have him at that intersection at that point. The guy who's everybody's talking about has two really solid victories, stopped somebody who's never been stopped before, and he did it impressively and shit like that. The bigger name is coming off of a shaky performance in the fight before that. He lost. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, those type of dynamics, boom, you got the makings of that fight, because one guy's is trying to get it back, the other guy is now making a name. That's where these type of fights usually have that intersection. But the way Abdullah's moving, I don't really see him at 47 too much longer. I mean, at 35 too much longer, because we've been talking about Abdullah Mason being a big kid for 35 and stuff like that for a minute. He's given us 3 solid fights. The other major names at that division, so far everybody's talking about going up to 140. Tank is not there now. Dudes are fighting for a vacant belt. We don't know if Tank's coming back at 35, 40, or whatever weight he's going to come back at. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, the trajectory of Fernando Vargas, they're going to keep moving them to a certain degree, but eventually, when the metal hits the road, that road is going to be Abdullah Mason. And for me, that's where it's like, bro, it's gonna get real tough for you, bro. If you're doing some impressive stuff, you're doing some real impressive stuff, but there's the guy who's technically sound.
Not now, but that can be a great fight. Like maybe 2-3 years from now, that can be a great fight if both guys keep the same path, and doing their shit. Yeah,
it's gonna be closer than that though, because Abdullah, he got the WBO, so unless he do something unless he unify at 35, which I really don't see. They got at 140, they got Vargas in that WBO line at 140. So my question is, I'm gonna address 2 points AC said. I want to address 2 points AC said after I do this. But my question is this: Would you rather see Abdullah Mason versus Raymond Mortaye at 140, or would you rather see Abdullah Mason versus Vargas at 140?
I don't know, Murataya, and at 35, because Murataya is still doing 135. I think
he only got 1 fight left. He gonna get Conceição out, and he up out of there. He's gone. He would have had Shakur, but Shakur tried to 90-10 that man.
Man,
and said, and Shakur tried to say he was in a rush to fight Robinson. No, he wasn't in a rush. That's why I hate like that. That's just like the whole Boots moving up. He turned down Virgil for a big bag to go up there. And then when it was his time to go up there, they were like, oh man, Virgil got to come on in, but you got to deal with Oscar. It was the same shit. It's like he wasn't in no rush. Like Mortai wasn't in no rush. He said, listen, I'll fight you at 35. I'll fight you at 40 or 144. I'll fight you at whatever, 140 or 144. And he tried to 90-10 that man. And nobody said shit. So I'm like, he's not in no rush. They let Shakur get away with that bullshit. Talking about Mortai was in a rush. He wasn't in no rush. He made plans because you can't rely on these niggas. You can't rely on none of these big names to say, all right, I got that fight next. Why? Because when it's a fight that everybody is clamoring for, they be like, oh, it's not a big. You're not gonna make me do this, and I'm not gonna do that. It's like you start acting like
Mason is a good fight. Can main event in New York, whatever you want. Those two, yeah, or Las Vegas, hell yeah.
What you think? Yeah. What you think, AC? Would you rather see if Abdullah said I'm going to 140? Would you rather see him and let's say Mortai get past Robinson because I think he will. But let's just say Mortai get past Robinson and go to 40. Would you rather see Abdullah Mason versus Vargas, or would you rather see Abdullah Mason versus Raymond Mortai at 40?
At first I was like, whoa, that's a pretty 50-50 kind of choice right there. Stylistically though, I might give Vargas the edge because he's shown a little bit more versatility. I think stylistically, Mortai is going to be there for Abdullah to shine. You feel what I'm saying? You're going to be there like Sam Nooks, and if people feel the way they felt about Sam Nooks and his fighting, the style he did with Sam Nooks, he could redeem that easily and just take on Mortai. Emilio might be a different puzzle to figure out because Emilio may show ability to switch and come out and leave Abdullah guessing on what style he's going to come out and shit like that. But I would be leaning, for me, stylistic wise, I'd probably be leaning more towards Vargas. Action wise, I would be leaning more towards Mortai. But overall, gun to my head, I'm gonna say Vargas.
All right.
Me, I go with Murataya because Murataya already was a champion. He got Andy Cruz in his pedigree. So for a name standpoint, and so, like Vargas is good, but like I think with Murataya is more market. But both fights are good. But if it's right now, I prefer to watch Murataya and
I get it. Yeah, that's solid. There's no debate there. Your points are solid. There is no debate there because we got to nitpick over those two names, bro. Those are two like, oh my God, body.
Be careful.
Pick those two names.
Be careful, AC. We're not allowed to nitpick. Nitpicking, you're hating. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, this is what we do.
No. But
let me address your points, the 2 points that I wanted to address that you said earlier. What we got to understand is that Shannon Sharp, he was a Hall of Famer in football. He got over into the podcasting space, and like you can argue, say he gonna be Hall of Fame in that too. Like he's gonna have, because he got the hottest interview out there. You know what I'm saying? So for Shakur, the hypocrisy with Shakur is he'll go tooth and nail with Shannon Sharp and then turn around and then, respectfully, because I like Cam and what he brought to the table as a quarterback for the Panthers, but he'll turn around and sit down with another football player who couldn't hold Shannon Sharp's jockstrap, because it was also Sterling Sharp who played for Green Bay, who was one of the nastiest receivers out there until he got that injury. And he had that special head, that he had that special helmet, that he had to have a special chin strap. So he had two Hall of Famers, Sterling and Shannon, in football. And then he go tooth and nail with Shannon Sharp just to go on a podcast with Cam Newton and say whatever he said and respect whatever he said. And this is the nail in the coffin right here. Just like when the Pivot Podcast put up that Boots was undisputed and he's the face of boxing. And I said this a long time about Shakur. I said this about Boots. It's like, it's okay when you comparing Shakur to Floyd and when you're comparing Boots to Roy. But when you start saying, okay, well, shit, what would Roy do? Roy would have went up and fought more tired. Oh, you're hating. Well, Floyd, Pretty Boy, you got Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd was beating shit down people's legs. Like Money May was just outclassing him. What he did to Canelo. I mean, where's your Canelo? Where you done that? You won't even get in the ring, and we have more people that you won't fight than when you will. But Floyd fought more champions than you. So the hypocrisy is for you.
That Cotto wasn't worth 12 rounds. Okay, but that shit was a bloodbath. That you know, and he won. Like, people think like, yes, he got 12 rounds, but wasn't all the time jabbing. That was at the end of his career. Some of those 12-round fights was freaking wars, you know?
Yeah.
And he outsmarted them and boxed them and hit them, like, and people he was an entertainer. He was not just talking. He entertained people inside the ring, outside the ring, and he trained like a freaking animal. So, comparing to him, people just or want to talk, or they just want to be flamboyant, but none of them want to train. So if it's your show. It's your show.
And, no, you're right. But and to get in there, like the way Floyd did, because I just went through my little mental Rolodex, and I was thinking about Corrales and Castillo and Maidana, and I'm like, you have not had a run. I'm not gonna name 3 fighters in spurt like Oscar. Like it's just so many. Canelo, like you, like to try to put this shit up there and try to say like Shakur, man, shut the fuck up, Shakur. And then this the thing, he disrespect the legend. This is why I say this is a young man that don't even probably respect his own personal history. Because if you disrespect a legend like the great, like Ray Robinson, if you say, I ain't even know, if you disrespect even people from where you're from and where you didn't even know or don't, like how much do you know? So who's really the casual? If you shit on somebody like Ray Robinson, which I know in my heritage, in my history, we always salute the ancestors. I always say that we are the custodians. We are the DNA custodians of all who come and went before us. So I wouldn't be me if my father wasn't him and my grandfather wasn't him, and however the mixture was. You got to respect the people that come and gone before him. But you'll sit up there and call Shannon Sharp a casual. You'll disrespect somebody like Ray Robinson, right? But then you'll go on Cam Newton, who can't hold fucking Shannon Sharp's jock strap in the grand scheme of things, and be all ears and all hunky-dory. Why? Because he don't say what Shannon Sharp said as far as his preference. It's like, no, when they're singing your praises, when they're saying things that you like, it's like, oh yeah, man, oh yeah, cool. You don't call them a casual. But then if they say, oh man, well, that's just not entertaining to me, then you don't know shit about boxing. It's like, knock it off.
Words wasn't casual. He called him ignorant. He called Shannon Sharp ignorant in his show. That was the shit. Wasn't even casual. He called him, oh no, you're an ignorant. Not an ignorant like the ignorant in the sport. I'm like, bro, this guy is almost 60 years old. He's a legend. You think you are the first boxer he's seen his life? You think he never watched boxing in his life? Like, he's not a guy that follow boxing every day for a reason, because there are boxers like you. But it's not. How you gonna call Shannon Sharp an ignorant? That was a crazy part. I was like, yo, this kid is freaking wilding out. Thank God 8-5 calmed them down and shit, and those guys are professional. But bro, and he was like, yo, this kid is freaking dumb. And Shannon Sharp is asking him, and where this money is coming from? No, I'm gonna get paid the most money. And Shannon Sharp is trying to tell him, yeah, but you have to entertain the people. But he's so close in his stupid mind. Oh, you don't like me, so you're ignorant, and he don't want to understand that. He's trying to tell him, like, bro, you need to be more entertaining, bring knockdowns, injure people, like, so you can sell more. And the casual, the other, they buy your fights, you know. but
Yeah.
no. That
This was a
great.
point. Yeah, this was a point I wanted to bring up as well. Going back to what what's the name said about him on the ring, and where he was talking about what did he say, fractional belts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so let's look at it like this. If you want to call those fractional belts right now, how does
Fractional.
Shakur Stevenson deserve to be on the pound for pound list? Because if all of these belts were fractional or part of a quarter in the 4-belt era, they're only, I don't know your matrix or how you break down the fractions of it or how you slice the pie, but let's just say it's in four quarters, right? 4 at 130, 135, and 140, right? We're talking about you saying a fractional belt. So that means we're only talking the IBF, WBA, WBO, and the WBC. Within that, the best you've done is 75%. You still haven't become a whole champion yet. If the belts
Exactly.
are
Because you didn't even do what Bud did. Like, that's what I'm saying, AC. You didn't even complete a whole. So
exactly, you don't have a whole set, brother man. So you're a fraction. So how the fuck are you on the pound for pound list and you've never been a whole champion? How the fuck does that work? So let's just remove all of the Ring Magazine champions. Every fucking body that's part of that, because nobody's a whole champion.
hey,
The only
AC,
person that's a former whole champion on that list, I don't know if, I think Canelo's name is off, but Devin Haney was number 9. You would have only that one person, Devin Haney, because he's the only one that completed a whole set. Oh, you got Usyk up there now. Yeah, they got Usyk. Okay, Usyk.
Yeah,
But there's a caveat
Canelo
against
complete the
Usyk.
set in 169. He hold the 4 belts over there.
Who's that?
So, you know, Canelo.
Yeah,
He
but
was in
I don't think
168.
Canelo's on the pound for pound anymore. I'm not sure.
No more. But
I don't
you
remember
know,
seeing him.
they
But-
say
but-
bullshit, and then they have to swallow the set because they cannot fit the shoes that they want to create. These
Yeah.
guys, they talk so much, and the worst are the people who listen to these guys and they copy paste that bullshit, and then they want to argue with you. I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm not gonna argue with
Hey,
these copy paste guys.
But this the thing though, y'all. This is the elephant in the room when it comes to this. And let's get to the meat and potatoes after this though. But this is the meat. This is the thing though. At the rate he's going, and the fact that they devalue the belts, right? And that it's only down to like the Zuffa belt or the ring belt. That's all they're ever going to be, our fractional champion. So their fate is set. Like, they're never going to be a whole champion according to Max Kellerman's logic, since Rolly just got the WBA, who is a fractional. You know what I'm saying? Fractional champ. That's all they'll ever be, is a fractional champ.
And now
They'll never be a whole champ.
and
According
now
to Max Kellerman, they won't even be that. Why? Because the Zuffa is something extended. That's like, I mean,
They're
if you
giving
want to
that to
argue like
Zuffa. They're doing
the
that.
IBO, yeah, and then the Zuffa. So let's just say it's 6 belts out here. You got the secondary and the IBO, right? Which might lead you to the WBA if you play your cards right? And then you got the Zuffa. That's 6 belts. So if all you ever fight for the Zuffa is that, and then the ring, if they allow you to do it, that's all you'll ever be, as a fractional champion.
Roger, no. But what they're trying to tell you subliminally, right? Like, these 4 titles are fractional, right? Like, each one is a fraction, but the Zuffa is entire title. That's what they're trying to tell people. Like, oh, you see, these 4 titles are a fraction, but this one is one whole of a title. Like because Max, that guy, he worked for Zuffa too and shit. Like, you know, he's a Trojan horse or whatever. Like, all these guys sell themselves for pennies in the dollar. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make these 4 different titles that are 4 different organizations to make it a one, like a fraction, and the SUFA be one whole set, so they can tell to the casual fan why you're watching those fraction titles when you can have a
Yeah,
whole title
because
over here.
Zufa and that type of UBO, it's one guy in charge. The one belt says everything. One face, one champion, one
Yeah,
belt.
that's for the
Okay.
casual.
Yeah, and that's the argument they're trying to make. The other ones is, all right, you got 4 distinctive lineal companies, and you can fight for their company. You have the WBA champion, you have the WBC champion. Yes, you can say they're all that's all fractional, and the only time you have the real champion of any division is the one guy who's undisputed. We've never had a problem with that argument. This was an argument we've been saying for since the 4-belt era. Yo, there's just way too many belts, and then the WBA had to clean up with all of those secondary and tertiary fights and champions. WBO did the same thing. WBC tried to introduce the franchise champion and stuff like that. So now it's pretty much you either have the regular champion or the super. Okay, that's still a little bit too much. At the end of the day, we all get the point. But Zufa, and I'm gonna have to say it like this, and salute to Dev, and I'm gonna say it like this because you'll probably keep hearing me repeat this same talking point. Buddy McGirt shut it down. Buddy McGirt shut it down on Mill City argument where he just dropped simple math: 1 + 1 = 2. What would you rather be called? In Europe, would you rather be called, and this is not Buddy, I'm adding this in Europe, would you rather be called the IBO champion or the Zufa champion? In America, would you rather be called the WBC champion or the Zufa champion? That says it all right there.
Yeah.
That says it all.
Would you rather be called the world champ or the Zufa?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Zufa is an American company, period.
But now the people want to be UFC champion, you know, like it's hard. It's gonna be a hard road. But if these people and these podcasters keep doing this bullshit and diminish the value of each world title, because each one is their own world title. You can hold one and you're a world champion. You don't need a 4 set to be a champion. Yeah, it's cool when you do something like that. It's very difficult. That's the reason few people have done it. But if you're gonna have the SUFA belt and now you're gonna have them fighting a lot, you know, for customer and people that want to watch a fight, you're just giving them more piece of the cake for them to eat, right? Like now you're telling these titles are fractional, so I gotta hold this stuff. You know, it's taking credibility out of the lineal. Like, it's just a bunch of bullshit, and people, yeah, I'm gonna start hearing pretty soon people calling the titles fractions. Pretty soon.
Yeah. But what you got, Dev?
Hey, shout out.
Dev, man. Salute, man.
It's been a minute, man. Shout out AC. Man, it's been this boxing thing, man. But you guys break it down so I could just really sit back when I have time and listen. So, I mean, you guys pretty much this OshaquieFoster thing is crazy to me. Like the run he's about to be on, if this Navarrete fight goes through, and then let's say he moves up, within maybe 2 fights, he gets a champion up there. Like, that's a hell of a run. And I just think, think more pressure will then be applied to that Shakur fight. But how much more pressure would it take, in your guys' opinion, if he does something like that?
I wanna watch that Navarrete Foster fights. Oh my God, so long ago. Like for real, I wanna watch those two. Like, I'm dying to watch that fight. And then later on, whatever it comes. But yeah, Navarrete and Oshaqui, I really want to watch it. Like, I will pay for it. Like, bro, yes.
Well, what I say is this. Your boy stuck his foot in his mouth. Shakur, like when he did that first interview, the first interview I seen, when he said that he can make any fight happen. I'm like, see, y'all remember on what was that movie? Minister Society? You know you done fucked up, right? You say you bought the milk at, so you say that you can make any fight happen, right? So just like the onus that they put on Tank, when no matter what, if he send off and you say no, it's still his fault and that he didn't make the fight happen. You said that with this new deal, we're partners and I can make any fight happen that I want. It's not like that where they can tell me this and tell me that, but like you still wearing Zuffa trunks, Zuffa boxing gloves, but you say that you can make any fight you want. And then immediately what he came out and did was he dismissed it. He said, well, yeah, we're not looking for, he called them small fries. I'm like, well, everybody I know, and I have a statistic where I did a vote on my channel and we got like, shit, we might have got like 100 votes. We're not big as the boxing voice and shit like that, but we got 100 votes. And out of the people that I listed, Oshaki was the leading candidate. And it's been that way. I go on the boxing voice. I'll be in the chat because I'm a member over there. Even though I don't agree with everything, I just say, hey, listen, man, I'm just going to be a member because they do the interviews or whatever. But like, so I know what be going on because that's where the most numbers are. And there are still people every day, all day saying, nah, man, he ducking no shot. Nah, we still want to see shot. We want to see this. But he's saying he's small fries. But you can make any fight happen. So if Devin don't go over there, right, you went to an island right when PBC signed with DAZN. So right when everybody eliminate all the sides of the street, you run to a whole nother fucking island and say you can make any fight that you want. So you know you done fucked up, right? You know you fucked up, right? So if the fight don't happen, because look, think about this, y'all. He said right when Rayo knocked out De Los Santos to get his get back, he said, no, I'd rather fight Gary Antoine. A week later, he go over there to Zuffa, right? Say, I can make any fight I want, but I don't want to fight El Rayo. So I was talking to AC offline. I was like, well, I said, man, you know he probably going to fight somebody like Tony Hirsch. And Tony Hirsch is like, yeah, he's on a knockout streak. He's coming up of age, right? But that'll just be like, that's like, I ain't going to say a step above Pally because I'm not knocking Tony Hirsch. He got it out the mud. But it'll be like one of them fights to where it's like you supposed to win because this guy is green. Like it's not even like Brian Norman where Brian Norman got to a championship. It's like, no, this little guy been having this run, but you didn't want to fight Jedier Herrera. So I'm like, who the fuck are you going to fight, bro? If it's not Oshaki, and that's not a big fight, that's why I said we got to qualify what is big fights because it's not what the people are clamoring for. He's talking about, and it's not about money. Remember this, because think about this. The same thing that they said Turkey alleviated earlier in the game, where he said, oh, if it's about money, Turkey alleviated that because Turkey gonna put up the bag. So, and we know that that's a feeder system for the Ring magazine because we know that Turkey is controlling both ends. He got his D League and then he got his Major League. And so he got his D League over there and they're in the building phase, whatever. They going through Congress, doing whatever they doing. All the money is there. So you getting, let's just say the speculation is you getting 4 fights for 60 million. It's not about the money. So what do you mean as far as big fights? Like, what do you mean? Because the money, let's take the money away. You already paid handsomely. You got the same shit that Bud had when Bud was getting $10 million, whether he fight Joe Blow or somebody right up under Earl Spence. Not Earl Spence caliber because we see we got paid for him. So alleviate the money. It's not about the money. What does Shakur qualify? That's what one of these interviewers need to ask. That's why these interviewers need to get kicked in their ass. Because it's like, what is the big fight, Shakur? Because you could have went to PBC and got a Tank fight. You could have met Devin as a free agent and met on whatever. What y'all could have shot. You and Devin could have got together, had a phone call, and then shop your deal to PBC, shop your deal to Golden Boy, shop your deal to whatever network, or just straight to the network like T.O. just did. T.O. just did a straight up network with his own. With you being a free agent, and if Devin was telling the truth about how he really got his own shit going on, y'all both could have got on the phone and said, listen, DAZN or Amazon or Netflix, this is what we trying to do. He's an undisputed champ, 3-division champ. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm a 4-division fractional champ, right? This is what we got to offer, and the people want to see us. What do you got for us? So it's not about the money. It's what does Shakur qualify as a big fight. Y'all feel me?
But yeah. But now in Sufa, like if he's over there, let's see, if he fight 140, he have to fight a Rayo because the Rayo is the best guy in 140 right now in Sufa. And after that knockdown that he got over De Los Santos, oh shit, Shakur and Rayo should be the fighting in Supa boxing, you know. But I don't know.
That's the other thing, Melazar. That's the other thing, Melazar. That's the other thing, Melazar. You know how dumb this nigga sounds? Like, you know how dumb he look now? Because he's at 140, but he went over there to Zuffa and they got a 135 or a 147. So either he's gonna go up to 147 or he's gonna go down to 135. And the man right now who beat the guy who everybody wanted him, who knocked out the guy who stopped him the first time, but they set in the record and he didn't want to rematch him. But so Arroyo knocks out De Los Santos, and you say, I don't even want to fight De Los Santos. That's small potato. Who the fuck are you going to fight, bro? And you at 135. And you tried the 90-10 Morataya.
And you ducked Shannon Sharp ignorant. But he called Shannon Sharp ignorant because he called him out. You feel me? That's where you're not fighting nobody. You're calling yourself the greatest, but where is the names in your pedigree, in your resume? Let me see all these names of legendary names that I can tell them you have a war with this guy. No, you don't have none of that shit. You just got a couple fights over here, over there, 12 rounders, boring fights, couple, like what you got, Pat Lee, Cepeda and Tio. Those are your greatest names.
Man, I remember when you guys, I say a couple months ago, you talked about how these fighters being able to pick and choose at some point is going to backfire on them. And it didn't take long. Boom. You seen what's happening with Devin, Shakur, Keyshawn, Hitchens. It didn't take long for it to happen.
Body your ass. Because,
it was inevitable, bro.
One time between fights, let's see, you have 2 strong fights, 3 strong fights, you can pick and choose one here. Then you like Chavez did, a bunch of boxers did that. Because you can, so you are not in that intense all the time. But, cabrón, when you pick and choose 3-4 fights in a row, and then you fight, people gonna notice, people gonna talk to you, like, it is what it is, customers are not stupid. When you're getting fed filet mignon and when you're getting fed freaking steak like raw, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna give a big a shout out to my man Swad Jones. We used to go at it a lot on a couple other channels and stuff like that. And Body, if you got a link, see if he'll pop up here. I'm just reading. Yeah. I'm reading his comments and I'm just like, oh, okay. It seems a bit different, but for me, at the end of the day, if we're inside the meat and potato stuff just yet, Shock is killing it. Shock is he's basically got his foot on his neck and showing these simple factors. Number one, you said I had no integrity. That's what you said. That's your main reason for you saying no to the fight at 35 when the WBC offer was there. You said it was a matter of integrity. So was that integrity, he was supposed to approach you in a certain way and speak to you a certain way? That's kind of what you alluded to. And that, my friend, is not integrity. That may be respect, that may be professional courtesyism or something like that, but that's not integrity. Integrity is what you don't have because you made all of these stipulations to Oshaki. Oshaki did those stipulations. You got in the ring, you disrespected him, you tried to make it about sparring, And then you said you better pick up the phone when I call, because after you spoke to him, you just went on Twitter and you just said, yeah, we could make this fight next. Yeah, we could get it on next. Yeah, we could do this. Just make sure you pick up the phone and you better come up to 140. Shaq said, listen, I ain't got no problem to come up to 140. Okay, so he's giving you what you want, and yet you haven't pulled the trigger. But you can make these fights at Zuffa. Now, my man Swat is in the thing saying it's gonna be old boy, but I'm saying it like this. At the end of the day, it's going to be a Zuffa fighter, because according to Zuffa own like bylaws or their own business model, they don't make fights with people who are not signed to Zuffa. This is why it's still going on with Ryan and Conor Ben. Because at the end of the day, the same thing that held Wilder from AJ, it's networks. You gotta air the fight. And without a network, you ain't got to fight. You got two participants that might as well go in somebody's basement or backyard and fight. And had them niggas with an iPhone and post it live on YouTube. But then you can't sanction that type of fight. So at the end of the day, man, listen, it's one thing to be like, yeah, these other fights gonna happen. No, Shakur got this and that, and they're gonna do that. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. He cannot fight anybody that's not there. And I don't know how you as a fighter sign as a partner without having the least amount of ownership, where you can't make money deals. You can't pick up the phone and borrow $1 against the company. So that right there, that cancels out that type of partnership you are. Did you buy into it? Did you come up with money? Devin Haney via Rolly Romero and PBC? No. So let's move out that type of partnership. Is it a promissory partnership? Meaning, listen, you turn the numbers, you do what we ask, we'll give you a percentage. I've been in those type of partnerships. And then I said to myself, let me put in a couple of dollars to make sure this shit is solidified. I got it in writing, but I still want to put in some money so now nobody can try to keep me from the table when major decisions are made that may affect me. So even if it's that, you're still going to have to put up some sort of bread to actually sit at the table. They may have you sit at the table, but that's not the table where the real business deals are. That's how they deal with you. That's the table they use to deal with you. The inner circle table is behind those double doors over there, the ones you keep looking at. So it's a strange partnership when you haven't done anything to actually be a partner with a company like Zuffa. And that's the business part of it that they just won't tell you about.
Yeah. But salute to Swab, man. Appreciate you for jumping on, man. What's on your mind, bro?
Man, what's good with y'all, man? What's good with you? AC the chef, my man. You already know
what's good, bro.
What's good? Everybody on the panel, man. I mean, I've been real critical of Shakur, man. He just not one of, great fighter, can't take that away from that, but he's just not one of my favorite characters. Just not at all. I think it's gonna be, I got a gut feeling it's gonna be Rayo. The reason why I got a gut feeling because Rayo just knocked out De Los Santos, and everybody been clowning Shakur for even having footage of him running in the ring from him. And the thing is, his excuse has been, I had one hand. But how you gonna salute the man who went back and got in blood with De Los Santos, but you couldn't go back and get him with two hands? See, that's the part that I ain't feeling. And my thing is, when them going to Zuffa with everybody under the umbrella that we've been waiting on this whole goddamn time, you gonna run over there to Zuffa. Okay. Now, what better way to get you back on the radar by beating by fighting Rayo, which nobody asked for. And Rayo probably the only top name really on Zuffa right now in that weight class that he can beat, that got something to give to his momentum. or to give to his aura, so to speak. And the thing is that ain't nobody want to see Ryo, but if you beat Ryo, Shakur the type of cat to be like, you know what, since I went in there and I beat Ryo, then you gotta erase the performance I had with De Los Santos. And see, for me, that shit ain't working. Because you should have never went to Zuffa in the first place. And my thing is, even if it ain't gonna be Devin, because Devin the only one that said, I can't believe, anyway, it's so much to even back into what the hell this nigga doing. Anyway, I don't mean to just cuss like that, but I'm just saying. But the thing is that Ryo's the only one that can give him something over on Zuffa to get the momentum going with Zuffa. If it ain't Devin, if Devin ain't going over to Zuffa, he ain't signing that, he ain't dropping the belt how Shakur requested. Shakur don't want to take the fight at 144 how he requested. And if he ain't fighting Devin on Zuffa, who else is on that? Who else is on the lineup that Shakur can actually put on screen and say, you know what, come see me fight? It's Ryo's the only storyline. And that's the point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That he's the only storyline because Zuffa, because you left when everybody got stacked up under the umbrella of one room, of one roof.
Yeah, and that's so like if you told me Zuffa right now is in the baby phase, right? Like if you told me you come to Zuffa when Zuffa is like everybody's there, the big name is in Zuffa and shit like that, I can get it. Because you have a lot of competition and it's cool. But Zuffa right now don't have fucking competition. You are the biggest name in the company right now.
Facts. And that's my problem. You go ahead. No, I mean I didn't want to, cut you out, but that's I just wanted to get in the mix. But go ahead. But that's my problem with that little angle they think we stupid. We ain't stupid. We know what you're doing. Even if you try to say we don't know shit about boxing or whatever, we don't know nothing. Nah, bro, you don't know shit about boxing because we've been watching it from the outside looking in. We know moves. Now, we might not know all the technicalities of being inside the ring, but we damn sure know how it moves when we paying our money to see you fight. We see what you're doing. Go ahead, fam.
Yeah,
look,
you're right.
Look, Swab. I got a series right here called "The Fuck Is a Duck," where I've been outlining like and I went through it's like 7 different ways that fighters duck. One of the most popular ways, and this is not
that's clever,
time, but one of the most popular ways is by changing promotional companies. So what you said right here, like what everybody was clamoring for, and people tried to knock the PBC, like when they were first clamoring for the PBC, saying, "Oh man, they gonna have to bend the knee." They finally bend the knee, and then the narrative is, "Oh man, look, PBC, they had to do it, man. Like that, look, man, they down bad." And I'm like, are you boxing fans or not? Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like the fact that they all on one platform now, it ain't no size of the street. And this nigga go to a fucking island, bro.
Come on, man. How long we been waiting on that shit?
The thing is, De Los Santos get his get back. He knock off El Rayo. Shakur comes out and says, "Nah, I'd rather fight Gary Antoine." But like all this in the meantime, in between time, you were jaw-jacking about a catchweight with Devin. You wasn't saying nothing about none of the other champions at 140. You were talking about Raymond Mortai. You tried to 90-10 that nigga. And then you said, "I'd rather fight Gary Antoine." A week later, you go sign a Zuffa, and then you say, "Nah, I don't want to fight El Rayo." Well, who the fuck else is you gonna fight? And I messaged AC. I said, "Man, it's probably gonna be a guy like Tony Hirsch." Now, Tony Hirsch is he's still on Similac. Now he coming up, he making his bones. But it's not nobody that's gonna get, especially with his whole "I want the quote unquote big fights." The only fight that makes sense is El Rayo. El Rayo is tenured, like El Rayo, and then he said he discounted El Rayo by saying, "No, I've seen him have plenty of bad nights." That didn't stop you from getting in the ring with Teofimo Lopez, because we seen Teofimo Lopez get outboxed by Cambosis. We seen Teofimo Lopez get edged out by Jermaine Ortiz, and he didn't get denied. We seen him have a rough night with Steve Claggett. That didn't stop you from doing that. But El Rayo had some bad nights where he came back and knocked his guy out in devastating fashion. And you say, "I don't want to fight him. I'd rather fight Gary Antoine." But whenever Gary Antoine came up, you didn't have no smoke for him. And then Gary Antoine didn't help it because Gary Antoine was acting up. And that's my guy, but Gary Antoine was talking so passive. "Oh, we need to let that build." and we need to do this. And that's my guy.
I'm telling you.
Hey, but how you gonna fight Antoine Russell when he's over there with PBC and they signed it with a contract with DAZN and you're over here in your island in fucking Sufa boxing? So don't be talking about these boxers no more because you will not gonna fight them. They are in DAZN now, and you know what? I'm not complaining about DAZN because I was complaining about paying fucking DAZN, paying fucking the ESPN Plus, paying freaking the other one, and then the pay-per-views was a lot of money. Finally, we got all the companies in one app, so if they ask me $30-40, I'm not gonna complain because I got everybody under one roof, right? So, and you go to Sufa, and you think I'm gonna pay for fucking Paramount Plus for what? For watching the Sufa boxing? Hell no! Come on.
Come on, man.
And like, stupid.
And that's my biggest problem with Shakur at this point in time. When we took 10 steps forward as a boxing community, and we got rid of the barriers, you gonna decide to jump ship on the same day we get the announcement. And then you want to get on the other side and you want to call out the same fighters you was calling out on the side where we just unified.
Yep.
Like that's some whole ass shit to me. I mean, like that it's right
like my
there.
Chihuahua. Like my Chihuahua that she barked from the window. Wah, 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 wah. But as soon as I bring it downstairs, she sits down in front of the big dog. And I bring it upstairs and she's barking in that window. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, go downstairs. She sits down and move the tail. What the fuck?
Yeah, they start crying. They,
and then go ahead. No, go ahead.
This other thing though. The whole media run, the whole campaign, it was, I don't need Tank, fuck him, I don't need this, I don't need that, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. He get over to Zuffa. Yeah, that's the biggest fight that could be made, and deep down, I think he respect me, and that's going to be the last fight, and that's the biggest fight in boxing. It's like, my nigga, who are you fooling? Like, you fooling them casuals, and your knee pad wearing, throat coat wearing, also jewelry wearing, reach around extending having fans, you fooling them, you not fooling us.
No way.
No, but when the casuals call him out, then he called the casuals ignorant. No, you're an ignorant because you don't fall for my stupidities. Like, bro, everybody can see it, a casual and a non-casual. Like, you're not fooling nobody. You're fooling yourself, not us, not my money.
You know what else? And this is what he's been repeating to me. Like you get where you safe and you talk. You talk about how people don't want to fight you. But my thing is, we got receipts on everybody you didn't fight. Let's not even bring up Shock. Shock threw your homeboy out the goddamn ring in front of you.
That's some crazy.
In front of you. I feel like Minister.
Damn, Raymond Ford, that was my guy.
I'm dog. We like, man, he blew your cousin head off in front of your face. Bro. You ain't gonna do shit. I ain't gonna let this shit ride.
We ain't gonna let that ride.
He threw your homeboy out the ring.
Ow, bro, nasty.
Nasty.
Shove it out. Like, get this nigga out of here.
And then you gonna get in the ring and don't want to shake his hand, but then all of a sudden you give Shock all these damn criterias, and then when Shock beat the odds and get all through the criterias, now you go to Zuffa. Man, I'm sorry, I don't see the desire for greatness. I see the desire for protection, and I've been saying that.
But here's the question. Over on the side of sanctioned boxing, it made him everything that he is right now.
Yes.
Regardless of all the negative stuff we say about him, what he accomplished in the ring, whether there's caveats around it, he has the accolades suit.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
What does Zuffa bring to the table moving forward, since he said out of his own mouth, this is the back end of my career, and now I just want to make the best fights? How does Zuffa make that happen for him when some of what you've done, people are talking like it was some of your best fights? They talk about the Zepeda fight like that was the performance of the century.
For real, they do.
You feel what I'm saying? They talk about the Teofimo fight like Teofimo was active. He was on like a 5-fight run where he just knocked people stupid or just completely outclassed you and shit like that. And Shakur just managed to just shut Teofimo Lopez down. So that's what they say about those two fights. They say you're back because you knocked out a guy off a 2-week notice when there were two other guys right there, Kurt Scooby and
You know
JD
it.
Herrera.
You know
JD
it.
Herrera was in fucking Saudi Arabia on weight, working out.
Facts.
They caught JD Herrera in the airport, like, yeah, I'm just coming back home.
I'll kill you, man. I'll
You-
kill you, man. Don't
Yeah,
worry
which
about
puts
it.
which
It
puts
is
that
baseball.
Abdullah Mason fight in perspective, right? Because look what Abdullah did with Bell.
Oh my
He pulled up the
God.
guy. So it's just, and he's with your dude Prince.
Yeah, he pulled up the boogeyman from 135 pounds, young Mason, and we were like, whoa, does this, like, man, listen, this is
Bro,
crazy.
like Sufa, I wasn't seeing bad. Let's see, for a guy like Subriel Matia, like Pitbull Crew, like a bunch of boxers over there that have couple defeats. They're not already in their prime, but they can give couple good fights. You know, Sufa kind of a good spotlight for them instead of wasting their last years running in around. But guys like Shakur right now, like you're in your prime. Like what the hell? It's like saying, let me see, one of these baseball players in the MLB in their prime, like Schwarber, Kyle Schwarber. Imagine him going to Japan right now in his prime. No, I'm gonna move to Japan because I want better competition. What do you mean?
Hey, Malazar, I gotta give you pushback because in his most recent interview, he said he's on the back end of his career. That's like Jordan winning his first championship, and then they asked him what is he gonna do. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna go to the CBA because now I'm on the back end of my career." Like,
Hey,
what the?
Hey, this is what he did. This man went out and got he went and got an XXL Magnum condom. You know what I'm saying, for protection. You know what I'm saying. That's what he did.
Yeah,
He's barking behind.
Yeah, for sure.
But this let me play this real quick because this was part of the meat and potatoes, and I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm gonna let us chime back in. But to Dev's point, Dev Wall point, Bell was one of them guys who he said every big name you could think of at 130. I said yes. They said no. So that adds to the list of the people down at 130, along with Mr. Gary Russell, along with Oshak when he was his mandatory down at 130, that he didn't fight when he was down there. And I always say to Swaz's point that I can name more people that Shakur won't fight than the fighters that he actually will.
Facts, man.
But let me play this. Let me play this real quick because this gonna bring a whole lot of shit to light because this is why I gotta do these. This is why I gotta highlight guys like Oshak because of how they moving. Like I do this like back when Sabril, when everybody was ducking Sabril, I was doing it. When people wasn't really on in a way, I was doing it because I'm like somebody gotta speak up for these guys who are moving. Even Gary Antoine, Mr. Gary, all these guys who were moving the way they were supposed to be moving, but then they wasn't getting their they wasn't getting the notoriety, they wasn't getting the coverage because they wasn't media darlings. I always did this, but this is not mine, so I gotta this is Mr. Versace's, but I wanted to play this. But copyright disclaimer under section 107 Copyright Act of 1976, allowance made for fair use purposes such as criticism, that's what we're doing, comment, news reporting, that's what we're doing, teaching, that's what we're doing, scholarship and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, personal use tips the balance in favor of fair, and that's all we try to do. We try to tip the balance in favor of fair. And for the longest time, the media and everybody and all of these people, casuals, hardcores, whoever, only Shakur only fans, they would run around saying that this wasn't true. But Oshak came out and doubled down and said what needed to be said. So let me play this real quick, and I'm gonna play a part of it. And if we need to go into another part, the part that I ultimately wanted to do, we'll do it. But let me do this real quick. Let me play this. Play this real quick.
the image.
Now, you're pretty confident about that fight when you talk about you and Shakur. There's things you've seen in the gym, things you've experienced in the gym. What is it that you know that the general public may not know, where they're like, why is Shaq calling so hard for that fight? There has to be something you know in your head that you're like, these people don't know. I got something for them.
Well, I think they understand now. I don't even have to say too much now because he came out and basically put his foot in his mouth. He went all these it's been like a year. He done said plenty of times that the sparring never happened. What I'm talking about is a lie. And, you know, he come out recently on the Andre Ward interview and, oh yeah, he got the best of me and I was up partying with my girlfriend and all that was in it was hiding at gym. So, you know, I think the world see it now. Why I'm so confident, because I got him lying, I got him shaking, you know, he's shaking in his boots, man. So yeah.
I know it's hard to look at it now, but I know you said you go to 140 for him. Where do you think you would top out at as your career progresses as far as weight limit?
So really to can y'all hear me? So really to Swaz's
point.
You
good, fam.
So really to Swaz's point, the man lies so much. It's just like when Ryu knocked out De La Santo, he basically said, "No, I'd rather fight Gary Antoine." But then a week later, he goes sign to Zuffa, and then he says, "Nah, that's small fries." Like he's basically saying that he was being subliminal, but he was talking about Oshaquie and he was talking about El Rayo. Like basically that's small fry. Those are not big fights. So to me, the man lies so much, and I've been on it. I used to be like behind Tank. That was my guy. He's the definition in my body. I still respect his skills. I think he's an excellent fighter. I just don't like safety first fighters. That's just my thing. I was one of the first ones out here saying I don't want no safety first fighter. I like guys who's gonna go in there, take some risks, calculated risks, and get the job done. But the man lies so much, and then he come around and there's no accountability. So he's been lying on Shaq all this time, and people saying, "Oh man, he just want a payday. Oh man, Shaq just clout chasing." The man goes onto Andre Ward's channel and basically said, "Yeah, the man got the best of me. I was partying with my girl," and all these excuses. Same way they did Fulton with Fulton talking about, "Oh yeah, Lamont Roach's security guard had to pick me up and put in the shower." I was like, what kind of rainbow type shit is that where another nigga, I don't care how bad it is, if a nigga gotta pick me up and put me, if AC had to pick me up and put me in the shower, I'm not fighting. And first of all, AC ain't gonna pick me up and put me in no shower, y'all.
Oh hell no.
You know what I'm
saying?
No. Get up. Yo, get up. Just get up, nigga. Come on, get up.
Call the ambulance, nigga. Like, call EMS before you pick me up and put me in the shower, dog. Like, but all these excuses, but the thing is, Shakur always gets away with doing the lie. What do y'all think about that?
No, that's pretty much absolute fact. And here's the next thing. So if I was the type of person that says, what's the next shoe that's going to drop? Here it is. It's plain sight. Everybody's talking about it. They're talking about you versus Ryan, right? You said you're not going to fight Ryan. If it's not Ryo, who else do you fight? You feel what I'm saying? Because, okay, if that's the case, then it would say something. Will it move the numbers, and will Zuffa be satisfied with Tony Hirsch? No. So one of two things is going to happen. Number one, you're going to fight Ryo. Number two, you're going to fight Ryo. Because you don't really have that say, and then to come in and say you have this partnership, and Zuffa forces you to fight Ryo, that whole
this guy
argument
from
of
the
partnership
UK.
Is done.
What is the name? Conor Benn. Conor Benn is not signing with Zuffa?
Yeah, he signed to Zuffa.
So maybe that's the big fight they're talking about. Maybe that's the big fight they're talking.
Yeah.
Conor Benn and
he got to go to form 47 for Ben.
That's one. That's You see, because you don't have no shit in Zuffa. Look what we're talking. Rayo or Conor Ben. What else you got there for him?
Hitchens.
But he ain't gonna fight
wow,
Hitchens.
you think I'm gonna pay to watch that shit?
No,
he ain't gonna fight Hitchens. They ain't gonna fight. They cousins. They
brothers. Yeah, they cousin brothers.
He extended friends and family. But no. This is the thing. It's gonna be Rayo. It's gonna be Rayo, or like if it's not Rayo, his stock is gonna plummet so bad. But the thing is, there is real fear there because El Rayo ain't nothing to shake no stick at. Like people look at what Gary Antoine was able to do with him, but that was experience that he got. And El Rayo, if you look at that fight right at the end, El Rayo figured some shit out. It got real hairy right at the end of that fight, but it was just too much, too little, too late. You know what I'm saying? So El Rayo has been building. El Rayo, those losses, sometimes like fighters need to get their asses busted to go back to the drawing board and come back sharper, come back fresher, come back more focused. And El Rayo, that is a dangerous. I don't give a fuck what nobody say out here. Like El Rayo is a dangerous fight for Shakur because El Rayo is going to put.
I ain't gonna lie about it.
I
ain't gonna lie about it, but that's why he gonna go for him. You see what I'm saying? It's the only person on Zuffa that's gonna be able to give him some kind of momentum. Because if it ain't Devin, who is it? Because everybody else is under the umbrella of the zone. You see what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I mean? Rayo's the only one if Shakur B can give him this little prestige that his little ass wants.
See, some people are trying to look at what Bill wrote and say, "Oh, that's not a good look for Bill," or some weird shit like that. But they understand that, hey, wait a minute, I don't got to drop shit. At the end of the day, if you ain't willing to do X, Y, and Z, then it is what it is. So they realize that, oh, you signed to Zuffa. They played a game of chicken, or Zuffa with Shakur, and Shakur swerved first. So they like, now you trap. It's one of two things: either get you the fuck out of the way, so now I can take over that spotlight, or number two, just to get you the fuck out of the way. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to tell us you're the guy, but to some people, you know, Devin is moving in a different way. Devin is moving in a way that we're saying, okay, compared to two, who's moving to create things? All right, Devin fights.
Right.
No. He fights Ryan Garcia. Devin fights Ryan Garcia, right?
You know, that's
the
big
results
one.
of that. Yeah. We saw the results of that. He takes a year off, gets the Times Square fight. That was mad. Then he sets us all up, and he works on something for Brian Norman. Then he goes up to challenge Brian Norman, who just got the award for knockout of the year. Blah 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 blah. Dangerous fight. Devin is my guy, but I picked against Devin in that fight. And proudly so, because my arguments I felt were solid that Devin hadn't shown me anything. Devin makes me eat the best crow in the world. You feel what I'm saying? Now, looking at what he did moving forward, I don't like the fact that you simply ducked with your bullshit business move. You ducked out of the Rolly fight, and you're not willing to go visit it. So then here comes Keyshawn. You could have easily got out of the Keyshawn fight by just going to revisit the original deal with Rolly. Now you're unified, and like you said, you beat the guy who just beat Ryan. Which one makes more sense for you to fight Rolly or you to fight Keyshawn Davis? In my opinion, it's definitely fight Rolly.
That was
because Ryan is I'm
and then you build the Ryan fight after Rolly. You build the Ryan fight after Rolly. Now you got a bigger bag and you have a lot more leverage against the guy that just came off of a solid performance, no PED allegations involved in it and shit like that, and he still got his following.
But so that's how they push away fans. That's how they push away fans, because they think they're so smart and they are so
but we don't know shit about boxing.
Yeah,
but we're trying to be like, bro, that's the business move to make. The move you're making fucking around with Keyshawn, that you let all of that shit stall out to now you got to fight a mandatory that doesn't give you any leverage really in the Ryan negotiations if you want to go back and revisit a Ryan fight. Yeah, they
But
say
look,
he beat Keyshawn, but at the end of the day, yeah, okay, you beat Keyshawn.
And what
Devin was
Keyshawn have done?
Devin was using the Keyshawn.
I like Keyshawn, but what Keyshawn have done?
yeah. But look, this was so funny about this situation. And this would make Shakur look so bad because AC hit on something I wanted to say so bad, but he put it in the right verbiage. Them niggas was playing chicken. And Shakur folded. He swerved, right? So now what was so crazy is that Shakur put out that 144 thinking that Devin wasn't going to jump down on it and be all hearty and high-minded, but Devin was super. It's almost like
Facts.
you keep taunting a nigga. You keep taunting and he be like, man, you look, man, you do that again, and next thing you know, a nigga in your face, and you got to deal with that shit. And the fact that Devin was willing to do it, it tells Shakur that, oh, okay, hold on, man, this nigga really think he can do me. You know what I'm saying? So for him to cower away like that, and now he's putting a lot of leverage on this nigga dropping the belt. I was like, man, we are in 2026, and we got a 4-division champion who went to an island where there was no more sides of the street, campaigning for another man to come down and drop his strap. Do you know how pussy you sound?
Bitch. Yes, I agree.
So they played chicken, right? And now we just now hearing that they saying, all right, well, shit, man, like Shakur and them, they on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna go ahead and we got our eyes focused on Keyshawn. Now, Keyshawn, I was one of them ones to raise the eyebrow and say, listen, man, he tiptoed past the hottest division in boxing. I'll debate that with anybody, which is 140. That's why everybody tiptoe up past that motherfucker, because on any given night at 140, it's close second is 154, but 140, most competitive division, because on any given night with the right matchmaking, you can get your ass busted. And a lot of people keep up past 140, not getting the smoke, right? Thinking that and so I was like, okay, well, what? So he beat Jermaine Ortiz. He arguably beat T.O. Some people say he arguably beat. I had him beating T.O. on the scorecard, but the business of boxing said, nah, we ain't gonna have it. And then some people say that he beat Loma. I think Loma edged him, but like a lot of people do argue that he was able to beat Loma. But he was never no champion. I think
Loma beat him. I think I'm with you. I think Loma.
Yeah, not like he was never no champion. And like, what does that do to catapult you above everybody else to get to 147? But I like the fight because at least Keyshawn gonna let his hands go. At least we're gonna have a fight. That fight is gonna be more entertaining. It's gonna be more action in that fight than we would see with Devin and Shakur, where it's like, I touched you on your belly button, I tapped your earlobe. It's like, nah, man, Keyshawn gonna at least try to put hands on this nigga. Whether he's ready or not, that's another, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if he's disciplined enough with him missing them weights and not being focused and him being like a borderline crash out, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. But I know he will let his hands go, and he know that this is an imminent moment. Like if he fuck around and upset the apple cart with Devin, he's set after that, because he got to regain his fan base out there in Hampton, out there in Norfolk. I mean, he got to regain his fan base because he lost something, but he was on track to be a star. He got star potential. He just got to be disciplined and locked in.
Hey,
I think Shakur's scared of him. I do.
I think he is.
I think he keep him at bay, and he try to be. I think Keyshawn got more love for Shakur than Shakur got for Keyshawn.
Oh, that's a definite fact. We've been.
You know what I'm saying? I think Shakur keep him cool because Shakur know Keyshawn a buck on him and slap him in his head. Then once Shakur, he already know who he is. And this is my opinion, but I've just seen duos like that in my life. Like, you stand cool with him because he know your weakness, and he know that you gonna be on that friendly shit when he want to take over what you want. You just praying that you don't want it.
Wow, here's a reality that just hit me. What if, let's just say, Keyshawn beats Devin Haney. They fight, Keyshawn beats him. and looks pretty impressive with it. We're gonna expect some whatever, but it's just a great, exciting fight. Keyshawn gets the nod on it. Comes down to a split decision victory. Blah blah blah. Couple of knockdowns between the two of them or whatever. The problem with that is Keyshawn then surpasses Shakur.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because when it comes down to now we're going to look at resumes. You talk about what Devin Haney has done.
Yeah,
Devin
buddy.
Haney
You tapping on something with that.
champion.
Yeah, buddy.
He's a 3-division champion, former lineal and undisputed champion. You feel what I'm saying? So, like we were making an argument, I think, before you got up here where, Max Kellerman wants to call the belt fractional. Devin Haney, Keyshawn beats him. He beats a whole champion. Plus, because he also had the lineal. So, what does that mean? And if I am correct, he defended his lineal title twice and all the belts.
I think so.
He had the rematch. He had the rematch Kambosos, right? That's one. And then he fought Lomachenko. That's 2. You feel what I'm saying? So in terms of those type of things, Keyshawn beats Devin Haney. He surpasses Shakur Stevenson. That's what's going to cause the rift. I think this is why Shakur sees this potential and he's like, I can't let him fight Devin Haney, because if he fucks around and beats Devin Haney, then I'm fucked. And I'm what the fuck over here.
It's gonna be Creed 3. It's gonna be Creed 3 in the making. I've been calling it. It's
Creed 3. Real shit. Real shit.
Bro, this shit is
Shakur know. Keyshawn, he know, man. Keyshawn the only one that don't know.
But here's where you got to give Shakur credit. If this is what he actually sees, this dude has a great chess mind. And I guess this is why, what was the name you gave him? Something Stevenson?
Well, we got a lot of names.
Body.
We got
Shakur Strategic Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That nigga's a general. He's a true to form general. He read the art of war, because he got a lot of dudes moving the way he wants them to move, and he has his machine and social media to back him, and he knows how to use all 3. So if this is what he sees just by looking at the tea leaf, I gotta get a young man credit. You feel what I'm saying? Because like he said, listen, if Dev dropped that belt, I ain't stepping on no toes no more. An analogy I used it is like him and Shakur like the same. I mean, Keyshawn and Shakur like the same chick.
They are.
You feel what I'm saying? And they have to walk down the same path. And Shakur like, if she crossed that street, I don't know. I'm gonna have to push up on that and smash that.
She put her hand on my crotch, man. Like, what you want?
You know what's crazy too? You know what's crazy too, AC, about that is, think about it. Tank Davis, Shaq Foster, who else? Gary Anton, Keyshawn. Those are all guys that gave Shakur resistance in his sparring session. Shakur, I talk about sparring. Well, those guys spar with you. How come you won't fight them? They probably gave him resistance. See, Shakur, when they say he's the best fighter ever, I'm sorry, I don't see that.
I don't either.
You talk about the skills, he has a skill set, but I haven't just seen him like put the bag on somebody. And so I think the resistance, a fighter that's going to actually give him resistance, which I thought T.O. would, because I've seen T.O. do it. Outside of that, man, I haven't seen it. And I think that's why he's not fighting those kind of fighters, because they're going to step to him.
I would say
that money gonna talk though. That money gonna talk. See that little big deal that Shakur think he getting. See, everybody look when you get money, especially in boxing, especially in fighting in sports, competitive sports. See, the thing is that Keyshawn gonna wake up and see that Shakur taking a lot of his meat. He taking a lot of food off his table. He gonna see that. I mean, especially with this big deal. You know what I'm saying about it? And then let Shakur miraculously land this Devin Handy fight, and then start talking about the money he getting with that.
If anything, it's
Keyshawn been pressing on Devin, and then yeah, go ahead.
My bad.
No, go ahead. No, I finished. But he gonna see that money gonna talk. See, when your belly get empty, you get hungry. And when you seeing somebody else who say they your friend, but they getting fat and your ass is getting skinny, things change a little bit. Especially when they ain't your blood brother. It's just gonna change. Go ahead, AC. I mean, that's how I feel. That's what I think Keyshawn's seeing.
I'm gonna say it like this, and I've been trying to say this for a couple of years. What's really gonna break the fissure, and I don't really know the full dynamic, but if anything, your mom's is usually the one that points shit out to you.
Yeah, buddy. His mom ain't no joke either.
If he your friend, why he keep taking your fights from you? If he your brother, why he keep taking your fights from you? Like, what's going on? What's going on, Keyshawn? You're missing out on fights that help your career, and you want to get back, and you said God gave you this second opportunity. All right, you're not loud enough right now. You feel what I'm saying? Because your friend is talking that if, then I ain't stepping on your toes no more. He gave you an ultimatum. He told you and Dev better hurry up and make that fight, because if Dev dropped that belt, listen, we friends is friends, but at the end of the day, I ain't stepping on your toes no more, because I don't see it that way. And you would have to go ahead, buddy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish.
No, I was gonna say, like, listen, at the end of the day, right then and there, I'm questioning whether you the homie or not. I'm questioning the fact that, hey, wait a minute, are you really my brother like that? Because you, like, right now, this is on some real Cain and Abel shit. Because you telling me one thing, but it's more sounding like an ultimatum that I better hurry up and make this shit happen. Otherwise, it's going to be your joint. And this is the way you feel, so I can't have nothing to say about it. Nah, nigga. And at the end of the day, if Keyshawn hasn't woken up off of that and on the phone with Shakur, like, yo, bro, on some real shit, you got to tell me what this shit means. You got to tell me what this means.
Thanks, man. You got to.
If he dropped this belt, you ain't stepping on my toes no more. So I'm asking you this question. Have you been stepping on my toes? But go ahead, buddy.
I'm gonna tell you what he did. I want to address what Dev said before I forget. But like, you right, Dev, because it was a point where he wanted to spar Sabril Matias and they didn't spar. But then that fight didn't ever happen. But then you see who he picked when he went to 140. So anybody, but him and Keyshawn had experience with T.O. And Shakur had experience with T.O. as far as sparring, so they already knew they can get away with T.O. They saw that he didn't fix them windshield wipers. Whenever it started raining, he didn't fix them windshield wipers. He didn't replace them, so they already knew, okay, well, he's still up. He's an old dog with no new tricks. So we're gonna do the same old thing. So I wanted to address that. So you're right. Anybody that put up resistance, and that's what I've been seeing. I'm like, how come anybody? Because he said, remember, he said the same thing about Tank. Did that disrespectful stuff. He said the same thing about Shock. Oh man, he just disrespectful. I don't like the way he talking. That bitch ass shit to where y'all fighters, man. Like y'all, you can settle that shit in the ring. That's the only place legally where you can put your hands on a nigga and get away with it. Sign me up and you getting the biggest bag. So I wanted to address Dev's point to that. But this is what happened, y'all. This is why Keyshawn is at bay right now, but it's only right now, and that shit only is only gonna buy time until they wake up. Y'all know them movies when somebody getting ready to pull a caper and they gotta go into somebody's house, like they got a fence, right? And they got dogs, right? What they do? They slip the dog something to put him to sleep. They feed the dog a little something. The dog eat. He knocked out for a little while and he woozy. So they go in and do whatever they do. That's what he did. Because think about it. Because I was calling this out because Richardson Hitchens, like I had to step up off him and stop doing videos the way, because I would be doing a video like I'm doing about Oshaque right now for Richardson, because I always fuck with Richardson. It just with these last 2 moves he did, I can't fuck with it. So I said, man, I gotta fall back. But this is what he did. He stabbed his cousin in the back and gave his brother a fight. Why? To throw him off the trail. To give him something to eat, put him to sleep, you know what I'm saying? Got his belly full, got him thinking, oh shit, man, I got snacks, you know what I'm saying? I'm eating, but I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, he took the T.O. fight because Keyshawn was on stage with T.O. going back and forth, and they got the history because they put hands on T.O.'s father. So he put Keyshawn to sleep. Why? Because at his lowest moment, after he blew weight and fucked up the bag with De Los Santos, he was on his way out, fucked up his hometown fight. Abdullah Mason put the cape on, saved the day. He rocked that nigga to sleep by giving him a little bite to eat, but put him to sleep. And then he handed his brother his cousin's fight. So he fucked Richardson Hitchens. He gave Keyshawn something to get him back on, and then he took his fight. Keyshawn about to wake up and be like, hold on now. Now, if you go by and Devin do finally go by and do this, and you take this food off my plate, it's on, nigga. Friends don't do shit like that.
And that's gonna make Keyshawn Shakur worst nightmare.
He just took
when that boy wake up, because if we can see it, I know somebody in his camp talking to him a little bit, especially his mama. Because if you meet his mama and you know his mama and you know how she get down, Shakur on bought time. She ain't gonna let Shakur shine over Key. It just ain't gonna work like that. And then after Shakur done got this big ass little contract, he talking about he doing something big, but now Shakur is fighting for fights. Come on, man, that shit don't look right. You don't call me your brother if I ain't coming up with you.
Okay, I'm gonna put.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna put it like this for the playback crew, and I'm gonna put it in street terms, like movies we've seen, right? TV shows. Shakur was the young dude that got a plug, right? That's Jay Prince, right? He goes to the plug's mansion. Now he's meeting who the plug buys from, who the plug suppliers are, right? That's the Zone, that's Turk, that's Bud, that's Ward, that's all of those dudes.
Yeah, that's everybody. Go ahead. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Now Shakur is his bit, and he like the money. He want the Benz, he want the house like that. So he want to come up like that. He get there. He got his dogs with him. I got my little bro, and I got my other 2 mans with me. That's Ray Ford, and that's my man's from Brooklyn, Africa. Right? I got my other man, but we rock, but it's more like some belly shit. Sometime I gotta watch this dude because I think he wanna line me up, and I know he move like that, but I think they being strategic, and that's Gary Antoine Russell. You feel what I'm saying? Now, here's Shakur and Keyshawn, the dynamic. That's number 1, number 2. Yo, I'm my brother's keeper type shit. You feel what I'm saying? So Shakur looking over like, yo, son bagged him a bad one. Like, this nigga be getting some bad broads, bro. Like, yo, Key, how you be bagging these bitches? Where you be meeting them at? You know what I'm saying? And Key be like, yo, I met him at the club, bro. I'm telling you, come with me downtown. The way we move and the shine we got, we can eat. He like, word. I ain't been finna do that. I'm gonna wait till you bring them hoes to me. But they there for Keyshawn. So when Keyshawn get up to go get Shorty, go get the bottle of champagne.
Talking, bro.
Like that. Go get the bottle of champagne. Shakur slide over like, yo, Shorts, hold on. Take my number just in case, you need anything. Like, that's my little bro and everything. And I want to take care of him. And anybody that's involved with him like that, and I think he got special feelings for you, I want to take care of you too.
Yeah, he tried to son him. Nah, go you like he's son him.
If you need anything, just holler at me. I got you. And if it's embarrassing that you really don't want to, cross that line with him, I won't say anything. That'll just be me and your little secret, okay? You good? All right. Remember, take this my number. This how you reach me and everything. And then he'll call. Like 3 days later, like, no, I'm just checking on you to make sure everything all right. Everything all right with you? You good? You don't need anything? If you do, I mean, just give me your address. I'll pop over in a minute. Yeah, just let me know.
He's signing him like this.
You feel what I'm saying? No. Key don't have to know him. Plus, that's my little bro, so he know how we get down. And Shorty just like, oh, they must be like that. So she start giving him rhythm. Key don't know because Key staying busy. Key over in La La Land, like protecting Big Bro. Like, nah, nigga. He on a block holding shit down. Like, yo, Big Bro got me. The fuck y'all telling me? Like, we trying to line, yo, bro, watch that nigga. He got a history. Bro, I'm telling, man, listen, I'm not gonna have y'all talk about my mans like that. That nigga's my heart. He put me on. When I was down and fucked up, it wasn't none of you niggas that came to check me.
Telling you,
it was him that came to check me. Feel what I'm saying?
It happens. What they say, it happens.
Now he put me on. Now he put me on. Guess what? I know the plug that y'all niggas don't know. I've been to the mansion. I already seen everything. Y'all niggas don't know, so I'm telling y'all, shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're talking about. And any nigga that say something next, I'm like, yo, listen, clack, clack, he'll back it out. Yo, Key, be easy, man. We ain't got to go through all that. Then shut the fuck up. Stop trying to disrespect Big Bro. All right, bro, if that's your man, this is your truth. You got it, my nigga. And that's that situation.
It is, though. It is, man. And people be, they be like, well, it ain't boxing now. A lot of the shit that's behind the scenes, man, be on some hustling type of shit to make things happen, man. And what's happening, and what they say, we don't know stuff about boxing, but yeah, we know stuff about life.
Yeah, and Oshak,
you know what I'm saying?
Lined up Ray Ford at the club, popped him, and y'all still worried about Ray Ford funeral. He dead right now. Shaq took him out. He the ops.
Yeah, he threw his ass out the ring.
He about to go get Shaq. We about to go get
slid
Shaq.
that nigga. Hey, but the other thing is this: Shakur is a chess player because he put him on with Jay Prince. Look, I'm gonna put you on with Jay Prince. So like, there's a sense of loyalty, and say Jay Prince allowed him to run up on Abdullah. But then you'll have fans saying, "Oh man, they got the same promoter. They'll never fight." I'm like, "Well, why did Jay Prince allow him to run up on Abdullah?" Right?
That's what they see was no. Go ahead, Body.
But the thing is, this the thing. Keyshawn got like he feel extra loyal because when he was down and out, he gave him a fight, and then after that, he put him on to his plug, which was, being managed by the same cat that managed me, which was like, you already know the narrative of fans. Fans will say, "Oh man, they got the same match." It's the same reason why people speculate, even though they try to gaslight us and say that this didn't happen. British and Hitchens was supposed to fight Teofimo Lopez on Alcatraz, but they got the same manager. But people will come out and be like, "Oh, nah, most of the time with the same manager, they're gonna protect blah blah blah." Shakur knew damn well what he was doing when he got Keyshawn over there, because you don't think he got Andre Ward and Bud in his ear and Tim Bradley in his ear telling them how to move. But they're not gonna come out and say it. That's why they be out here on the protection committee for him, like being top flight security of the world, Craig, for this nigga, because they got in his ear. He ain't coming up with all this. Now he's smart. He'll sit back. He on some fresh shit like the little dude from Fresh. He'll sit back and peep the scene and make the moves. But you got to think, he did the same thing. And I'm going to land right here. Think about this. Let's go back a couple years. This was Devin and Shakur. They were friends. Remember, they had a solid agreement to where they always stay one weight class apart. And when it was absolutely necessary, they will actually fight. Shakur grabbed his nuts. He recorded Bill. That's when they had the whole, if it ever get hot at 35, we going to 40, bro. And that's when he went up there to fight Regis at 40. But they were never supposed to fight. They was always supposed to wait to the end. And they were supposed to be the end all be all. They were going to try to knock everything off. When that shit didn't work, he got another ally in Keyshawn. He saved him when he was at his lowest moment, thinking about, doing bad to himself, put him on with a fight, talk to him, whatever. And like you said, he know his weaknesses and shit. So Shakur been playing chess. These other niggas need to wake up, because this is the sport of boxing.
Because it's basically when Tony killed Manolo. For real. You don't realize that you Manolo, Keyshawn. You feel what I'm saying? You haven't realized you Manolo, and Shakur acting like he's Scarface. So once you wake the fuck up, you feel what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. And at the end of the day, man, I have to say
they won't believe us though, and that's the thing. Like they be like, well, nah, like life, boxing and life is two different things, man. Like life, we all relate to. Boxing, we all just, some of us.
You see what you see. You see, when it comes down to boxing, but life is actually lived.
Come on,
you feel what I'm saying? Which create experiences. We see what we see, but to the fighters inside the ring, that is life, because those fights have the outcomes of those fights have meaning.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at, again, since we're here, I'm gonna bring it back. When you look at how Oshak's been moving, right? Everybody gave credit to other fighters when they said these fighters were chasing some of the big fights. You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's called, they call it his path to greatness or whatever. Okay, so if Oshak is saying, listen, I just want to beat the dude up. Why can't Oshak get the same talking point of OshaquieFoster is searching for greatness by calling out who we perceive is the pound per pound, number 3 pound per pound guy. So what's wrong with that? You feel what I'm saying? They're talking about a mystery fight. Before he even signed to Zuffa, that was a real fight on the table. Devin Haney and all of these other guys weren't realistic fights that Shakur was that were on the table. You had a real offer on the table, and the offer was also verbally spoken of, but it was still on the table. Quiet as kept is part of the reason why he went over to Zuffa is because when the sanctioning bodies move to put an offer out and back an offer that was done by lawyers and shit like that, that shit stands for a whole year or until the end of the fourth quarter, the fiscal fourth quarter. So that offer at 135 is still active. The core going over to Zuffa guarantees that thing can never happen because the WBC belt is on the line. That's why 140 is being spoken of, because he knows he can't go back.
Hey man, hey, I gotta go tend to my little one, man. Hey, I fuck with y'all, man. Yo, I'm gonna definitely come back. Salute to all y'all, man. Body dope shit, man. Yo, salute to. Hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and hype my man up, man. I'm gonna check y'all out again. I just gotta take care of my little one. I'm a single dad and shit, so you know how that go.
Yeah,
so
salute to you for that, man. Salute to you, man. Thanks for coming through and your input, man. Nothing but love, man. Thank you, man. Just feel free, man. Whenever we on, hey, and we Bodywork. Go to Bodywork Boxing 24/7 at Gmail. Send me your Gmail whenever we go live. I could do like I do, like Dev, my man D Calico, AC, my man Aaron Jones. Whenever I have a live, even Melazar, who was on here earlier. I'll at the live. If you can, you could jump on. If not, you'll have a link to where you can jump straight on. You know what I'm saying? Just send me your email, bodyworkboxing 24/7 at Gmail, and then
bodyworkboxing 24/7 at Gmail. I got you.
Yeah. All right, bro.
Hey, love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. All right. But let me do this, man. Let me wrap up with this. Not wrap up, but let me get to this part because I want to do Oshak the justice, because there was some other things out. And this is why I gotta support guys and appreciate you, Easy Charles, man. Thanks for the support, man. But I want to do this because it's not just his pursuit of Shakur. This is one of the guys that's moving the way we want him to move comprehensively, meaning that it's not, he don't have tunnel vision. He's just embodying how we need people to move in the sport and the people that's coming behind him. He's not devaluing the belts. And I think that he has the most even-handed, consistent energy and approach to how boxers should be moving. So it's another part of this interview that I want to get to and play so that we can actually see how Oshaki moving. I'm like, man, if you can't help but like Oshak, man, you gotta get behind Oshak, man, for what he's doing. But let me get to this real quick and we can wrap up, man. Let me see. Let me get over here. Oshak a real one, man.
I know you have a timeline in your head of when you want to be back in the ring by. I'm sure you want to get at least one more before this year is out. If you don't get Navarrete, if the Shakur thing doesn't come together, what's the most logical next move for you?
I think the winner of Zepeda, Lamont.
So you would want to try to get either one in the ring before the year is out.
If I could, if it was to, yeah, definitely.
If you couldn't get that together before year's end, would you just to stay busy, come back in a fight, maybe test the waters at 135, maybe one more defense at 130?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely not gonna wait and put myself on hold on the shelf for none of these guys. So if I have to, I'm gonna stay busy or whatever opportunity approaches itself. I'm gonna handle that. But yeah, for sure, definitely gonna stay busy.
And since you're targeting the winner of that fight, how do you see that fight playing out?
I really don't know. I think the volume of Zepeda is gonna be a problem because I don't think Lamont got that punch output. But I think the timing of Lamont on some of his power shots is gonna be a problem for Zepeda.
And I totally agree. Like that's as far as boxing IQ, that's what make him a little bit different. Like it's a couple people that been calling out. Gary Antoine got a excellent boxing IQ where he be calling out fights. But the way them two as boxers, the way they see fights, man, and what they be saying, that shit be making so much sense. And I can see both of them.
Because sometimes when you're overthrowing and throwing so many shots, you leave yourself vulnerable. So I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's a real interesting fight. I don't really got nobody. I got it 50-50, like even 50-50. I'm not gonna say I want Zepeda to win like Lamont and them was hoping. Like they was hoping Ray Ford did with me, but
another real nigga move, man. Like all the way, like I ain't gonna be like that just because I'm like that, man. Just because motherfuckers be hating on me, I still want to see everybody win. It's just, hey, don't fuck with me. You don't fuck with me. You don't fuck with me. But at the same time, man, I'm gonna be fair, and that's what Oshak is doing.
I think it's gonna be a good fight. It'll be a great fight.
But assume if Zepeda were to win and you got in the ring with Zepeda, some people would view it probably as a measuring stick on how Shakur did with Zepeda.
Yeah, for sure. That most definitely. That's why I wouldn't mind either one. But both of them guys, I'll make good work of for sure.
What do you think has to happen for you to get Shakur in the ring? Is there any more of his friends that you have to fight?
I mean, apparently everybody is friends.
That's how we feel it, man. The friends and family network. God damn it. God damn.
That's crazy. It was cool that he asked.
Yeah, I like Versace growing on me. At first, I was like, "Who is this corny ass?" But he growing on me, man. He growing on me. I like this interview a lot.
Everybody coming to his defense. I'm gonna keep knocking him all down and keep exposing him. He already, he exposing himself. He told me he threw his little mans in front of me. Now they saying he throwing Keyshawn in front of Devin. He
didn't I say it? I say not again. I had the robot. I had the iRobot putting the robot and the other guy back. I said, man, are we witnessing again? Did he just put Keyshawn up and threw him in front of Devin? And here goes Shock, another boxer. So don't take my word. Don't shoot the messenger. But another boxer saying it.
He steady, he throwing people out there instead of him himself getting that field. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see for sure.
Yeah, well, I know he's friends with Keyshawn. I think he might be friends with Hitchens as well. But I think those guys are a little too high up to throw to you. I think both of them are pretty much a 147 at this point.
Yeah, but I see him in the future. We already tried to make the fight with we had the opportunity to make the fight with Keyshawn. It ended up falling through. Hitcherson, he's scary. I don't know. All these dudes around the same age and they got a father.
They got a father.
That's not their father. So I don't get it. Gary Russell, you included. That's your father too. The way you felt. I'm putting him in there too. Gary, he gotta get in there too. He got in his heart the other day. As soon as they brought us up.
I did a reaction. It wasn't a reaction like everybody else doing, but I did do a video and I said, man, as much as you my guy, I just got to keep it a buck. That's what separates me from a lot of these guys, man. I mean, that's what keeps the channel pure, because you do some shit that come across the lens and that shit looking funny in the light, we gonna say, hey, that's Cuban Zirconian. So I didn't like that energy, and he did get in his heart. He had the way, when you go back, and don't take my word for it, because Gary Antoine is my guy. I love the Russells. I love Tank. You know what I'm saying? That's the DMV. Lamont, I love all them DMV. But I'm not going to do what all these other cats do. Like, just because I'm from the same region and I don't do that. And the energy when he spoke about Shakur, it was passive. It was like, we need to let that build and this and this and that. When he turned up, when Oshaki came, when his name came up, he turned up and went all the way in, just like he turned up and went all the way in on Vargas. I'm like, Vargas is just coming up. Like, Vargas is just making his bones, but he turned up on, so it wasn't just Oshaki. So I'm not being, you know what I'm saying? I'm not being critical just of him in the criticism from Oshaki, since I fuck with Oshaki, because I fuck with Gary too. But he turned up on Vargas too.
No, man.
So you don't think he wants to get any of it as well?
Oh,
Gary.
Gary, he just went on the internet and told a bunch of lies, defending his pops, I guess. You know, I'm gonna call all these guys his son, because like, what are y'all defending a grown man for? But at the same time, me and Gary done got a lot of work. He went on a podcast, so went on an interview saying that he put some pause on me. Man, like I told my bro, we took turns beating up Gary. It wasn't nothing hard about that. You a stiff, come forward fighter that's right-handed with no finesse to your game. That's easy money. But
now I seen that, because I seen a little bit of that with the Puyo fight, but I think Gary has evolved a little bit. I don't know the history of their sparring, so I can't really speak on that. But Oshak know, and so far so good when it comes to Shock and his word. I believe him, because he's been a stand-up, consistent dude. He remind me a lot of myself.
Yeah.
Were you impressed by anything from his last fight?
Nah. I mean, I say this: the guy wasn't no slouch. The guy was like 6 foot, southpaw, long. The guy wasn't no slouch, but he not me.
I don't know. I was impressed with Gary did. You know what I'm saying? I was impressed with Gary did with Hirioka, because Hirioka is a force to be reckoned with. I think he's gonna take over the welterweight division once he get there. Him and Puyo are gonna take over 147.
I think dude is a good fighter, but I know what I do to Gary for sure.
I think a lot of people still view Junior as the best one out of the brothers. Do you still widely view Junior as the best one?
Yeah, for sure. I also don't like, and I forgot, I ain't even spoke on this, but I also don't like how they played it before the Fulton fight. So before I walked out to the weigh-in,
yeah,
they stopped me. You know, they like, You
But
know,
the Russell brothers.
The Russell brothers, yeah, because I know them. That's why I don't know why he went on there talking crazy. I know you. I done been to your pops gym. I know his pops, everything. They telling me, oh, this and that. Don't let that distract you. Stay focused. You're gonna beat him. Woo. And then we get in a fight, like 6 rounds. I look across the ring and it's all of them trying to tell Fulton what to throw, how to punch. I'm like, yo, what is going on in the industry? Why is people trying to backdoor and play both sides? So I don't know, man.
Y'all see what I be talking about with that buy shit? You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it remind me a lot of myself. I'll be peeping it too. I'm like, how y'all gonna be having it both ways, bro? And that's his observation. We on the outside looking in.
They say anything? Was there anything discussed afterwards on why they were cheering Fulton on, or?
Nah, I just seen them making interviews of how they was hurt, that he lost. So, you know, I'm gonna keep hurting these guys' feelings, keep making them, you know, they're gonna feel me for sure. So they can keep banding together and doing what they do.
I remember when that fight was made, I kept thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't know why Fulton would take that fight, because I just thought it was just a completely wrong fight for him.
Yeah.
I thought your whole makeup was just completely wrong for a fighter with Stephen Fulton's makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they see something from the outside, but then when they get in front of me, it's totally different. Because, I mean, I feel like everybody felt like this Ray Ford fight was gonna, you know, 50-50, all of that. And I told people that I was gonna make it look easy. I told people I was gonna do to them.
What did we say over here? I was like, man, this is not a 50-50 fight. I went by the numbers. I said his plus minus. I said it all. Like, man, me and AC, we all cooked on this. I'm be like, man, this is not a 50-50, bro.
No way was it a 50-50 fight. I
just think
people who were saying it like, y'all niggas is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Them from the outside looking in, they underestimate what I can actually do in there.
Do you think at this point you're finally starting to get your due?
For sure. I'm having a fight for it though. I'm having to really fight for it, because every time I knock down one obstacle, they come back with more excuses. That wasn't enough, which is okay with me because I want to keep working, keep grinding, keep growing. But it's never enough. They'll say this 50-50. They got ready for it, but as soon as I beat him, oh, he just beat him because he got tired. It's like, bro. So it's a lot, man. Then you got people coming out saying their girlfriends is the reason why they lost, and you know it's a lot going on.
Well, it's like the name of the game in boxing. Very rarely do you see a guy lose and just say, I lost because he's the better guy. It'll always be training camp wasn't right, weight cut was hard, I was fighting with my wife the night before.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing, and it ain't been that long, because I didn't think Fulton was gonna come out with these excuses either. But that's the only thing I respected about the son, Lil Ray, is what he came out and said he ain't got no excuses. He say it's still.
We gotta salute Lil Ray because he did handle it. Now Fulton, whole different story, because a lot of them cats that was backing Fulton, I seen him on that nigga from Houston channel. I seen him down there. He played both sides. He definitely went the whole different direction after the fight. I'm like, bruh, you got it both ways. But they like these same people that was like they're so passive about Fulton making these excuses about Lamont Bodyguard putting him in the shower and shit like that. I know I was joking, but I'm like, come on, man. Like, y'all the same one that was out with the knives and the pitchfork for Earl 3 years later when Earl told his truth. But again, we in the boxing area where these motherfuckers want it both ways.
F me, but he ain't got no excuses. So, I mean, I can respect that more than you waiting 5 months and then coming out and saying you almost passed out walking to the scale. You was catching cramps and stuff. When we know you got to see the doctor, right? 2 seconds before you hit on that scale, you got to see the doctor. So how is you catching cramps and you know, they just say a lot of stuff for the fans. The fans don't really know the insides of yeah, we got to see the doctor before we step on the scale. So there's no way we come in cramping and feeling the ways that he said he was feeling and still make it to the scale. So, we're going to keep making them make excuses, though.
But as a fighter, I'm sure you've gone through stuff yourself. Everyone goes through something in training camp. You might wake up the morning at a fight and you don't feel right.
Right. It's always something, man. But real men, real stand-up competitors, they don't make excuses. You know what I mean? It don't come with the game. You just...
Now, you don't have to say which fight, but was there ever a fight where maybe the week of the fight or the morning of the fight where you really didn't feel right? You were like, oh man, I gotta go into this fight now.
I would say Ray Vargas. I couldn't spar like 2 or 3 weeks because I had got a little cut on my eye. Somebody had some bad gloves and it got like a little small cut. So I couldn't spar that much up leading up to that fight. I wasn't feeling that great. And then the second Conceição fight, when it was several fights. Like, it was a lot of fights. I couldn't spar the last 3 weeks leading up to that fight because, like, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do as far as going to therapy and doing all that. I was just going hard trying to get back because they had just robbed me with Conceição. So this was the rematch. So I was just going hard and my arm ended up flaring up to the point to where I couldn't even bend it. So I had to wait like 3 weeks. And the week before the fight, what I did was the whole time I was just getting treatment, icing it every day, several times. And I was like, look, if I can get through one sparring session, I'm good. Because my whole thing was just get the title back. He didn't want to fight me anyway, so it was no postponing for me. I would have never fought him. So I just waited. I got that one sparring session in, and then I went into the fight. So,
but that speaks to a fighter's mindset. That's why when Earl told his truth, it wasn't no postponing that fight with Earl. And like, fighters are like that, man. It's like, nah, man, we're gonna get it on. Especially in this situation, he was doing a rematch where he got pickpocketed in the first fight. He should have never lost his title. We all saw that robbery. Because even Wally Moses in the corner was like, hey, man, stop this dude, man. Like, do what I said, man. You see what they did to Oshaque? You just seen what they did, meaning that we just saw Oshaque win that fight and they pickpocketed that man. Same what they did Gary Russell Jr. with Mark Maxwell when he had his injury and they pickpocketed him.
I mean, these guys make excuses and say all this, but, man, we all go in there with something wrong. It's about who you is on the inside. Get the job done. That's it.
Now, the year is practically half done. In closing, map out the second half of the year with your promoter's hat on, or what you would want next. How to close 26 out.
Close 26 out. With my promoter hat, I would say it would either be, the storyline of me going beat up the daddy next, or, we can't get him. It would be unifying with Navarrete. I feel like that's the two best storylines that come next, and that would be big for the public, big fights, and just that'll catapult me to the next level.
And you heard to hear from the champ. He's hunting for Shakur. He might go hunting for some more gold later this year at a higher weight division. Until next time, want to thank Oshaqui for joining me again. Stay sharp.
Yeah, I want to see him do what he said, the last part. Unify with Navarrete, move up, maybe get that Roach fight, contend for a title right after that. That's 3 straps in 3 fights. 2 off Navarrete, one in 35. I mean, at that point,
I'm gonna ask this question. Would we want to see him versus Albert Bell at 35?
If he move up, I mean, yeah, if he move up, if he move up after this year, I think he's going to be looking at 35. So, I mean, I would accept that fight. You know what I'm saying? I would accept it, but I think Um, they gonna want to see him do something. They gonna want Albert Bell to get Albert Bell get back. But it's a lot of smoke, man. You got Cruz. Cruz ain't going nowhere. Cruz ain't. I don't think Cruz
So,
ever going to 40
so
until he become
either
an old man.
I'm saying this: if he's looking to go up to 35, and let's just say everybody's in the mix, for me, I would accept a fight with either him or Albert Bell or him or Cruz. I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that'll be cool. I would accept that, but like, I know y'all heard my commentary throughout that, but like, as far as the steps, as far as like what he was saying about how he approached the Gary Antoine, going on to the friends thing, the excuses that Fulton made, how Ray Ford, even though he was still saying "fuck you," you know what I'm saying, but I ain't making no excuses, and how he respect that. What y'all think about that part?
No, that was when that part is genuine, because for me, at the end of the day, he's telling you, all right, even if we had belts or whatever or former champs, we still have to conduct ourselves as champions and professional fighters. You know what I'm saying? If you, it's still, I still ain't got love for you, but I respect the fact that, you didn't make any excuses to try to take the performance away from me. Hey, listen, that type of stuff I could rock with, but that don't mean I can rock with you as a person. I still don't like your crew, and I want to beat the rest of your crew up. So, you know what I'm saying? It's again, that goes into that integrity argument that I was making earlier. One guy keeps showing you what integrity really is. You know what I'm saying? In his actions, he's not holding in on a professional level. He's not holding any grudges. You feel what I'm saying? He'll acknowledge whatever. But on a personal level, I don't gotta fuck with you. I don't gotta like you.
Yeah,
I think
AC,
that's
you
what
saw
hurt.
that
That's what I
too
think.
in the. I was just gonna say you saw that too at the end of the fight with Ford when Shakur got in the ring, right? He was trying to keep it professional, shaking his hand, trying to make a deal in the ring. And you saw how the other side was acting. So
Exactly.
it's right in front of your face if you want to just look.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to me, it's like Shakur is more offended that Oshak don't want to be down like Brandy. But to you, Dev, being down there, man, in Houston and all that, man, like you got a transplant in Shakur. Of course, he's a talented guy, skill boxer and all that. But then you got Oshak down there. How you feel about it, man? Being down in the area, being at the fight, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. How you feel about all of this?
Yeah, so and by the way, I was in I had to make a last trip to Philly, so I didn't get to go to the fight, but had some boys at the fight. I knew a couple people going to that fight, man, but we love Shaq down here. But we're really trying to get Mel back in the ring. Both of them. I actually grew up in A-Leaf, close to where they were from. So I've been watching them since the amateurs. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that'll be a great fight if they do it in Houston. Like after that full fight, I kind of believed it for a little bit. I don't know if you both did, but I kind of believed it could happen next. There was a point, right? And I was like, man, you put that fight in Houston, it's gonna sell out for sure. But
Yeah, because
hey,
it's like
man, it
Shakur is
was
like that.
perfect.
Yeah, because Shakur like that bad broad that's always flirting, always making it, hard to get, whatever you want to call it, but it always making it seem like, and then you press, and then it's like, well, you see what's good, and it's like, oh man, you bullshit, man. Like what, like that's how Shakur is. Like even right now, like with the Shakur, like with the Ryo thing. It's like, come on, bro. Like you trying to tell us that ain't good. That's not a good date. That's not a good dance partner right now. Like what other option, since you done close yourself off, like AC said, you done mopped yourself off in the corner, right? Be waiting for the floor to drop. You gonna be a wallflower over there? Well, you the big fish in a little pond? Like How respectable is that? And like, can we believe you? Like, and I've been off. AC been along with the ride because it's been a solid 2 years where I say, man, I'm off of that Shakur shit. I used to like ride for Shakur. I used to do videos supporting him and knocking down narratives in his defense. And then I'm like, man, I got played because I started looking at the actions. Because he has a history of this. And I had to be real with myself and say, hold on, man, this ain't the first. Like, I remember like the Mr. Gary Russell shit. I remember the shock shit. I wasn't privy to Bell because Bell wasn't out in the media like that. I didn't know until recently about the whole Bell situation. Well, not recently, but like a couple months ago about the Bell situation. But I knew about that Josh Warrington situation. And right when it was all good to go, he was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I gave him grace. But I've been watching the moves over time, and it's just like, bro, you always coming up with an excuse. And I started documenting all the guys who he made an excuse as to why he won't fight. And I'm like, well, what that leave us with? Because you never seem to, just like I see a little bit of this in Devin. You know, well, not just them two. So let me be real. And when boxers really want to fight, you see how they move and their behavior to actually pursue the fight. We seen David Morrell and how he pursued Benavidez. We seen Benavidez and how he pursued Canelo Alvarez. We seen Bud when the no, like first he was saying no, it's weight class for a reason, blah blah blah. But some switch flipped in his mind, and then it was like, all right, well shit, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go up to 54, and then I'm gonna jump up, and he just went and did that shit. So it's like we see when they really want somebody, how they act. He said he was chasing Zepeda for 2 years as a champion, chasing a fucking. He wasn't even an interim champ. He was a mandatory, like, because it was Schofield, him, and somebody else that was like next in line for all three of them like belts. And we see when he won a fight, like, what was the negotiation with Schofield? They like, oh man, you done fucked up, you done got yourself in. But he came on in. It wasn't all this bickering and back and forth and 3 months of media wars. Like, so when they really want to fight, especially when it come down to Shakur, we gonna pinpoint it down to him. When he really wants to fight, we see how he move and how he pursue fight.
Man, I was saying some of that same stuff with his big brother Bud Crawford. Man, I remember a stretch where I was like, man, I'm not gonna watch you until I see you in there in one of these contenders. I ended up watching still, but it reminds me a little bit of that. Different situations, you know, with the, you know, money and all that, but it reminds me a lot of that. It makes me think, does that have any influence on how he's moving? I know you guys mentioned all the people in his ear, right? Like, because I mean, it's awfully similar. You're boxing yourself outside the competition, and then you might catch one of these guys on the last leg. Who knows? But yeah, man, that's y'all cooked on this one, man.
Yeah, the situation for me, I look at it like this, and this is where I close it. The situation tells you this: OshaquieFoster is moving like the guy everyone should be talking about. For all the accolades they give to Shakur Stevenson and, you know, the things that they say, there are plenty of fighters that you can give that same attention to. You can put the machine behind these guys because win, lose, or draw, they're always in the game. When it comes down to, you know, the other half of this situation, and Shakur knows or believes that, yeah, Oshaki can beat me. But somebody to tell me otherwise, it's like, okay, then why would you make these promises and then go back on these promises? There's something about OshaquieFoster that's, number one, got you in your feelings, and number two, has you maneuvering the way you maneuver. The walls definitely closed in on you, and somehow or another you pulled a Houdini and got the fuck up out of that. Because yeah, we all know that there's, you know, you hide the key inside your mouth or in your hand or whatever, so when it looks trapped, you already got the key, and that was the lifeline that Zuffa was giving you, per Terrence Crawford introducing you to the turf. So if we really, really look at where everything was really, really starting to go crazy, is when you see Shakur Stevenson looking at the Turk as a fanboy, where it's him, Bud, and the Turk, and you see Bud introducing them to him, and you see he shake his hand, and he got to fix his clothes and his shirt, and he just looking at him like, oh my God, I'm standing in front of Turkey Al-Sheikh, the plug. So when it comes down to shit like that, you know, he bought into everything that was said. Listen, I'm gonna make you a great star. You know, Terrence Crawford talks highly about you, yada yada yada. And now at the end of the day, everything has come home to roost. You couldn't hide anymore. Devin can't hide anymore. A lot of these fighters that been hiding behind the business of boxing can't hide anymore. And even moving forward, even for people like Boots and all of these other guys that the media that are the media darlings, listen, you can't hide no more. David Benavidez is somewhat of a media darling, but he's somewhat of that because he's actually moving the way he's moving. He's running towards the smoke. Abdullah Mason, the media is just starting to like really get on to him, but you could still see the reluctance. So for me, the assassins that the mainstream media have out there, it was covered earlier in Body's housekeeping, and that's Max Kellerman. That's just that whole panel, pretty much, with the exception of the boxer. The other guys that are just up there, just doing hit pieces, and then when they bring Mannix up there on the screen, pretty much Mannix is either going to be pro for a fighter or he's going to be an assassin of that fighter. And he's going to tell you per his sources the reason why he knows X, Y, and Z is because that's when he's in assassin mode. He's killing shit for no fucking reason when everybody's under the same umbrella. But you're killing fights. That's what you know, that there's an agenda. And from there, Oshaquie's not getting the rhythm he's supposed to be getting. I'm glad he got the interview with Mr. Versace and stuff like that. But we got to see how these little interviews add up and start moving the needle for a shot. Hopefully he gets the Navarrete fight, and that puts him on the trajectory he needs to be on and gets the hardware he needs to get, so he's got plenty of leverage when he does move up to 35. And that's where I landed.
I appreciate you as always, AC, man. Thank you, bro. You dropped some gems, man. This playback gonna be wonderful. I can already sense it, man, in the vibes. You know what I'm saying? And Dev, man, hey, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, man, but you family. You part of the 300, man, and I like your approach, man. You listen. You always come through, and even the little piece you said about Bud, man, it's like everybody respect his skill set, but like that's the kind of stuff that people are scared to say because we all saw it, and that's what's going on with boxing. So I salute you for being able to say, you know what I'm saying, what you said, and you're exactly right. It's part of his playbook, bro. You can't tell me otherwise because you got Andre Ward doing a video saying, no, that's the promoter for it. They not making blah blah blah. So they are in his ear. You got the Tim Bradley who was never got the kind of stardom. Yeah, he got the big fight with Pacquiao, and yeah, he got in the Hall of Fame and all that. But like the publicity that Tank get and the way the names and how it's bubbling, he didn't never really get that. And so a lot of these guys are living vicariously through Shakur, Carisha, Bud, Andre, Tim. You know what I'm saying? And Andre Ward could have done it. My only thing is that the way they fought and how they went at the game. Tim Bradley, yeah, he dug Earl right out, at the end. But like the way Andre Ward was, the way Bud was, like the way he fights, not how he maneuvered, but like they were different kind of fighters. So Shakur doesn't have the privilege to be able to act the way that them guys act because they fought different. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the honesty, man. And whenever you whenever you on, it's glad to have you. I'm glad to have you on, man. You fit right in, bro. So I appreciate
I
you, man. What you
appreciate that, man.
wanna how you wanna land, brother?
Yeah, man. Thank you for that, man. You too. You know, if I can't listen to it at that time, man, I'm always on the playback, man. It kind of gets me through, you know, through the nighttime and everything, man. You guys are a rare breed in this business. You know, I was telling my little bro, and he actually came through with Ezzy Charles. That's my little bro.
Oh, okay.
And I put
Okay,
him on
cool.
your channel, yeah. So he's into boxing too, and he's thinking about making his own channel at some point. But man, I put him on the real fellas in this game. So um anytime I have time, man, I'm gonna jump on. And just to land the plane, it's you know, you showing guys like Shock the respect they need. You did a whole 3-hour stream. You know what I'm saying? You've done multiple streams for Shock Foster, Benavidez, all them guys that get it done. That's what I want to hear. Everybody wants to talk about Haney, Keyshawn, Shakur. Like your channel kind of is a breath of fresh air because you give light to those guys actually putting in work. And I'm really excited to see my boy Spence back next week. That's going to be that could be another thing that just changes the boxing climate over the next few months, how well he performs. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all. AC, you too, man.
Yeah,
Man,
for sure, Dad.
yeah, for sure, man. So y'all take care.
All right, man, Dad. Be safe out there, man. Thank you. And let little bro know any advice. I'm not one of these people, man. I'll help him, man. Whatever he need to know. He got questions. If he is gonna jumpstart this thing, man, I got all the answers that he could possibly need, man, to get it to borrow. If he run into any snafus or need some encouragement, because it do take work, but there are some things that he can do branding wise and things that he can start off with that give him a good fresh start. Because I did it solo dolo, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll be more than willing to help him, bro.
Oh man, appreciate that. I'm gonna let him know for sure.
All right, brother, man. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your evening, AC.
All right, peace.
Peace. We got another good one in the books, y'all. We had a classic, man. I think this was a classic, man. And we didn't really have any hiccups, man. We didn't really have any hiccups on this episode, man. I appreciate everybody who came through and showed love. Crush came through, D Free came through, Easy came through, Swag came through. Appreciate that super chat, man. It really helps, man. It really helps, man. Thanks for people who contribute, man, and just a like, a comment, a hype, because it's free. We all monetize, a lot of people, I'm past people just, biting the material and using it for themselves and acting like they came up with it for themselves. We passed that. We passed getting the credit. It's all about the message at this point. And we're gonna be one of them people, man. It's not easy always saying what needs to be said when it needs to be said, because you find yourself alienated and feeling like that salmon swimming upstream. But I said, listen, man, if we just keep it straight all the way across the board, even kill, we put them all on the scale. We want to know the length, the breadth, the width, the depth, the buoyancy, the capacity, the volume of them all. So we put them all on the scale. We judge them all accordingly. We don't get into personal lives. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get all into what trainer got paid and this and that and trying to do, because at the end of the day, all you're really doing, like the stuff that's going on with Earl and Derek James, that's not none of our business, to be honest. So if you're pushing it one way or the other, you got an agenda. You know what I'm saying? You got an agenda. That's not what we do. We don't even get into the personal life. We start inside the ring and we work our way outside the ring as necessary. But really, we want to highlight the guys that are moving. Yes, we get on a beaten path every now and again. We give our little, we say always go where people know your name. They're always glad you came and they always sing your praise. Then you come over and hear what we got to say. And we'll put our little sprinkle on it. Let us chef it up and just take you on a mental journey. That's why a lot of the time we don't be visual. We don't want you to be focused on, oh, is my hairline straight? Is my beard looking right? Did I cut this side of my mustache wrong? all the dumb shit. That's why I say, man, if I could start all over, I would have a faceless channel where you would never see me, and you will be conditioned to just like and hear the material. I just pop out to let you know that, hey, look, man, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not pre-recorded, it's not contrived, but the bottom line is, man, we wanted to highlight Oshak, man. And at the peril of me going against some of the guys that I actually like, some of my guys from the DMV area. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I pull for them guys, I root for them guys. I just know that some of them might be playing a little bit of politics. You know what I'm saying? And that's their business. That's how they want to handle their business. But I think that Oshak should be getting way more coverage than he need to be getting. Abdullah, he should be getting coverage. Brian Norman should be getting coverage, even though he lost. You know, who else? Benavidez, David Benavidez. He's going through some things. Send some positive energy out there to David Benavidez, man. Because just when he started getting the ball rolling, his star power started catching up to him. People start saying he's that guy. The media hitmen started coming out and trying to, you know what I'm saying, shoot them things at him. And I don't agree with that. You know, I don't agree with what Max say, fractional champs and all of the creative bullshit that they come up with to discredit guys from the PBC. Even when they came on in. The fact now that PBC came in the zone, people still poking and prodding and saying, y'all had to come to the zone. I'm like, these are not boxing fans. These are social media like content creators who they're gonna play the other side. They're gonna figure out whatever's juicy, whatever gossipy, whatever tea it is, or whatever, just because that's the kind of audience that they have. And I always say, look, this is like that novelty bookstore where you go, you get your special books. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you might get some crystals. Maybe you might get some smell good, some scents. You know what I'm saying? Things that's going to lift your spirit, elevate your mind, help you focus. This is not 7-Eleven or McDonald's. So we're not going to be as popular. Like, it's not going to be that many people in the drive-thru. We don't seek to be the Drake of this shit. I always say that I'm the Lloyd Banks of this shit because I could really walk away from this shit and be okay with this shit. But I love this boxing talk, man. So we always try to give everybody their just due. We always try to give everybody their salutes. And hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on to your next boxing conversation, man. Put some positive vibes out there for Shock, man. A guy that's actually moving. He's a man of his word, a man, an integrous person, a man who stands up in the face of adversity. You know, he's that salmon swimming upstream. You know, he's speaking out on things and being courageous and not really like over embellishing. He's not all in the media doing social media stuff and doing all of that. He's actually trying to pursue the top dog. He don't want to be friends. He said, look, man, I just want to scrap, man. I'm not going to hold it personal. I just want to get it on with you in the ring. What's wrong with that? We're getting away from that. But if you listen to the Max Kellermans, the Mike Copps, you know, the Timothy Bradleys, you know, depending on what day it is, you know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of thing that you get, man. Y'all know I can talk boxing all day and all night, man. But hopefully you gain something from this episode, man. Till the next time. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.